And what is up, fellow geeks? We are here tonight celebrating our 200 subs. We're doing a live stream. We're going to have some people pop in. Make sure if you're watching it, hit that like and subscribe button. But for right now, this is the weekly Geekdom. Don. All right, guys. It is your favorite Padawan Frito Bandito, joined by always our favorite Jedi Master Tuck. How we doing tonight?
I'm doing great, guys. How we doing tonight?
Good. And as always, underneath me, we got Joe, the cocaine bear himself.
Nice.
What's shaking, my man?
How's it going?
And then the man, the myth, the legend, Noah Dell in the right-hand corner.
Doing all right.
Good. Alas, Josh could not be here for this big celebration. Oh, but there he is popping in.
There he is.
Holding down the realms of Jotunheim and fighting alongside.
I will insult Vin Diesel at least once a day. Dude can't act.
Josh is at
I don't care what you say. He can't
Vin
act.
Diesel's head looks like a boiled potato.
Oh, we got another one. You know, Brennan. Nice.
Oh,
Hey, Brennan, how's it going?
Hello, how's it going,
What's
man?
up, man? What's up?
So tonight we're just going to be talking about, picking the brains of our geeks that have been here for a little longer than we have, get a little insight on maybe how their journey has been. So,
Gosh.
Don, how has this journey been for you so far, man?
It's been great. It really has been great. Somewhat bittersweet more recently, but it really has been a overall great experience with everybody. Getting to know Joe, getting to know Josh, and keeping this channel going for Ben and bringing you guys on to help us out was great. You guys have contributed a lot to the channel, and we appreciate it. But yeah, I love talking about this stuff no matter what. So I wouldn't change anything. I love it.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad. Thank you guys so much for liking and subscribing. We really appreciate it, every one of you guys.
Honestly.
Really do.
Joe, what about you, man? How has this journey through this multiverse been for you so far?
Oh, it's a blast. I couldn't think of better people to do it with. Couldn't think of better places to go.
Noah, what about you? Like just joining in like I have in the newer years, what do you feel?
It's a blessing, man. It's cool. Like I never thought. Like I just joined to start talking, but I gained a bunch of friends along the way, and or like a family almost.
Our group chats do get a little wild.
It's really the friends you made along the way.
Yeah, I never thought. I started off strangers. I never thought I'd have like our whole private channel as a giant friend group. So it's awesome, and it's sad that Ben's no longer here. Yeah, he brought me on. I was a stranger at first, but he like always brought me into the conversations, and he was like, "Noah, what'd you think?" And I'm like, "Talking to me, man." And he just always made me feel welcomed and part of the group, and it's cool to actually still contribute when I can. So
yeah, like I gotta say, like just being a part of it. I remember Don and I were talking, and we would always just be at work talking about some nerd stuff. And, finally, he one day brought this up to me, and I was like, dude, of course I would love to be on this. Are you kidding me? We have the wildest chat, fast export. Oh, God.
Yeah, see?
What stays in the chat? What happens in the chat stays in the chat.
Stays in the chat.
Stop this right now at midnight. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Always,
Absolutely.
Like I said, I wish... I'm very disappointed. I was telling you guys the other night, I wish I could have met Ben. I've heard nothing but amazing things about the man. I wish I could have made him laugh uncontrollably like you guys have gotten to. Like I would have just loved to have picked his brain.
We definitely tried. Ben. Yeah, Breaking Ben was our favorite thing.
Breaking Ben.
That definitely sounds like a moment with him. But also like looking back, what do you guys think like some of your favorite like fondest moments like of the channel have been so far?
I'll be honest, as I've said it, I mean, I always love talking Star Wars with you guys and with Ben. I mean, that's always my probably my number one thing from the channel. But honestly, my favorite thing is just really the behind the scenes, like obviously the fun we have, but just the conversations we have about building the channel and getting people to watch and stuff like that. I love that stuff because that's what matters too. I mean, having fun, we're going to do that either way. I mean, whether we have this channel or not, I think we'll all still talk about this stuff, but we want people to enjoy it like we enjoy it. So, it's fun to have people that interact and talk. Like, I loved when Joe brought up the idea to play the games for the Sunday show, man. That really helped out. People were interacting and we were all talking and it was great. So yeah, I hope we can do more stuff like that just going forward. But for sure, talking Star Wars, man, is my favorite stuff. So always.
How about you, my man downstairs?
I mean, I love the Game of Thrones conversations that we've had, Lord of the Rings conversations. But my favorite thing we already touched on, is, and always will be Breaking Ben.
Yeah.
Do you have a moment that sticks out that you really like got him?
There's a few. Basically, when I first started coming on the channel, it was mostly just us all trying to break Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Don, and Josh throwing show off the rail for a good hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. All I had to do was say no plan, and he would get so upset because that was our big thing about the sequel trilogy and Star Wars. So whenever I was like, "Yeah, they had no plan," I would just bring it up for random stuff,
just out of nowhere.
He'd be like, "Don't you do it?" He'd be like, "Don't you do it?" I always loved doing that. So that was one of my favorite things.
Yeah,
messing with Ben for sure.
But, so what, Joe? You were saying besides that, any other specific moment?
No, I mean it's never just one thing.
Yeah,
it was a repeated attempt for about an hour and a half straight.
I really don't think how much you guys understand. We tried, like we try to do things to break Ben.
Just torture him with jokes.
I've seen some of the episodes, and I know. Man. And once you guys got him, it was just hook, line, and sinker. There was no way to stop it.
There was no stopping. Yeah, no stopping at all.
Oh God! Why you do this to the man?
He was laughing the whole time. I couldn't stop.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. That's what it was about. It was getting him to laugh, man.
Oh God, I can only imagine you making a joke about that, Josh.
No, not Ben. Never.
I'm sure Ben didn't seem like the raunchy humor kind of guy. Like he would laugh at it, but he wasn't going to be the one saying it.
Oh, he will.
Oh, he would. Yeah.
But
he definitely liked That's What She Said, that kind of stuff. Yeah, he loved that kind of stuff, man. I always call him. Yeah, that was always fun.
Yeah, no, you touched on it a little earlier. My favorite moments, I think, are our little like conversations after the shows that people actually don't get to see, where we're just spitballing ideas, trying to figure out make the channel better, and stuff like that. And it's just been a hell of a ride just being a part of it. How much wood can a woodchuck chuck? Could chuck wood. Could chuck wooden wood.
Oh,
it would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck chuck. A woodchuck could chuck wooden wood.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here without Josh. He's like, hey, because I would always call him up and we'd spend like an hour and a half just talk about like what's new, and then he's like, hey, why don't you come do this thing with us? And here I am, and I still try to call Josh up when I can, but these days he's quite the busy man. So
he's the busy man, busy man.
I know, man. Proud of him right now, man. Yeah. He's doing big things.
Big things. You'll see soon to see big things.
Big Sequoia season.
Well, if Josh is excited about that, I wonder if he's excited about Velma 2 news.
Oh God.
Oh,
listen,
Velma season 2.
Dude, you told me about that. I'm irritated that got picked up for a
I
season
had to
2.
It
bring
doesn't
it up
bother me
just
in
to-
the least.
I
I couldn't
had
care
to
less.
bring
It is
up
the
just-
greatest raunchy comedy ever.
I don't know, man.
I had
It's
to bring it
so
up 'cause
hilarious. No, it's stupid. It's I mean, no, it's stupid, but I love it.
Speaking of news, as it says,
Yeah.
weekly geekdom.
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
the
Yeah.
Marvels. Disney announced today they put out the poster.
So November
Poster looked
10th.
pretty dope, but they moved the date to November 10th.
Is that what it was?
It
Yeah.
was originally supposed to come out in July 7th, I believe.
I
Well,
don't
they
think
keep
they want to
pushing
go
these
against
back.
the Flash. That's what it is,
Yeah.
dude. They don't
Well,
want
they
to
have
No,
go
they
other
against the
definitely
movies
don't.
coming out.
Oh, okay.
Guardians comes out in May.
Yeah, but that's before the Flash.
And then they
Flash
have something else that comes out after. They have Disney as a company has 5 summer movies
Yeah.
coming out this year.
And what if they're all flops?
They won't be.
Well, if Guardians Galaxy 3 gotta be good. I mean,
It's gonna
like,
be. I think
like
that is
would
gonna be the
James
best
Gunn
one.
want to finish not putting as much effort as to? I mean, I guess he didn't know he was going to become the head of DC, but
No,
Yeah,
not when he
this
was
is his
shooting
last work.
Not
No,
when
not
he
when
was
he was
shooting
shooting it, but when it was in post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Post. Yeah.
I don't know.
I just can't imagine he let off on this movie for any reason. He still went balls. I guarantee he still went crazy on this movie.
Oh, for sure.
Or at
Yeah.
least he did what he thought. He did his best.
And
work.
he's
I
got to
don't
keep a good relation with Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
One
no
day we're
way
gonna
he
get the
just,
crossover
tanked.
that we all need.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I mean,
that'd be amazing.
They might even
Like if
bring him
Rocket
back
came out
for,
looking like
advice
Sonic
and
or something,
stuff.
I would be like, "What the hell just happened, dude?
That
What
would
are
be
you- What are
dope.
you doing?"
That's what we need to do.
Rocket
mean-
look like Sonic? No.
And
That's
I
not
probably-
what we need.
Before the change.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And I brought this up before the show. Like,
about
what's
that.
going to happen if DC, because of James Gunn, starts
Yes, I
outperforming
know.
Marvel? I want, like, there's just some stories with DC I love, and I just want DC for once to do better than Marvel.
Oh, it will. It
You
will.
know?
It won't.
I mean, it'd be good for everybody as well, Because
No, I think it will. I do think it will.
And then competition drives, because Marvel's like, crap, we can't keep
Harvest
putting out
Math
crap,
equations.
So we'd have to put out actually good quality.
That he does. He always does look like he's.
No, I heard an interesting theory. So, in the Flash trailer, what happened? What did I miss?
Josh said that Joe,
Joe
always
looks like he's about to
solve
solving
a
Harvest
yeah, I
Math
saw that. Yeah,
equation.
But in the Flash trailer, there's a sec. He says, "Why are you here?" And he says, "I'm here because this is the universe where my mom's still alive."
Nora.
Yes.
So, is there a chance that they just leave him there, and we never get Ezra Miller back, and he's just in that world? And
Well, that's
There
Flashpoint.
could be, but then there's 2 of those in the same universe.
but I'm saying, would they actually do that and say no more Ezra Miller? He's just gone.
They could. I think
But
they might.
what if he brings him back, because James Gunn could kind of see him like his own story, like he did things in his past,
Just
he's working
remember-
on bettering himself, but
I'm
so
sorry,
many
dude,
people
but-
hate Ezra Miller's. I don't know, man.
Dude,
I
until
really
Will
don't
Smith
know.
gets his
Ezra
real
Miller's a
career back,
repeated
then I don't-
criminal, child abductor,
Yeah.
and
I'm sorry, he just doesn't
robber,
deserve a
and
career.
it's not that people hate him; it's that he keeps committing crimes and robbing people and abducting
But
girls.
he's apparently getting help now. He's checked himself
Yeah, I
into a
don't care.
facility.
Yeah, I don't care.
It still happened.
I don't care.
It
It's
was
still pretty
years,
recent.
For
It's still
years,
pretty recent.
having guns around and drugs around children.
This
and
could be
shit,
his
like,
best performance ever.
There's a story
That's
that
cool.
he had a baby had a loose bullet, was chewing on a loose bullet.
That he left laying around his house. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That is an actual accusation about him. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Like, no, I can't. Sorry.
Noah
I can't.
did make a good point earlier before we started that DC might have a way better year than Marvel altogether. And I
Overall,
think he
probably
might.
yes.
Well, Josh
think
said
they
DC
might.
sells
Josh,
the blood
it
in
had
the
a
water
low.
right now.
It had a low critic score, but the audience score is higher than Man of
The
Steel.
nerds really liked it, but the critics
I
said
I think Ant-Man's
sorry, Ant-Man
probably
now.
gonna be-
Yeah. Said
I'm going to
that.
see it on Sunday, and I will let you all know. Look for
The
that.
non-spoiler
I will either
review.
see it Sunday
I
or
am not
Monday,
watching
so
any. I'm not watching that
Let's
before
do a
I see the
spoiler
movie.
review
You're
of
out of
it.
your
Let's
mind.
do a spoiler review of it.
When Sunday?
I'm seeing it either Sunday or Monday.
All right.
I've
You
seen
wait till
probably
Monday?
I
like
might see it on
designs.
Monday.
Yeah, I'm going to do a short out of the
Okay.
theater reaction.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
non-spoiler.
yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
then,
I think the audience score was like 86%, while the critic score on Rotten Tomato was 48%.
I don't
think
care.
I'm close
I
to
don't
it.
care.
Yeah.
Well,
To
Josh
be
asked.
I don't
honest,
care what
sorry,
any
I
other
really
reviews
just
come
don't.
up.
Yeah, I
Me
really
neither.
just don't
I
care
like
about
to
what the
make
reviews
judgments
are.
for myself.
Yeah, I'm not going into this expecting anything but watch the movie and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm expecting to be blown back a bit.
I'm
I mean,
expecting things based on the
It's like
trailer.
I'm
I will say
expecting to
that.
be blown
I'm
away a
expecting
bit.
the same things
I
that
am
I've been
too.
expecting for every movie lately to set up the next two phases of Marvel
Yes,
films.
right.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking to the future.
I mean,
Every
it can't be
movie
worse
doesn't
than
have to
Love
be.
and
You have to
Thunder,
understand.
right?
This is
I
their.
like Love and
This
Thunder.
is their
I
Avengers.
Okay.
This is their Avengers.
like
one movie.
every movie.
The
This is their
audience,
Avengers
yeah.
one movie. This is introducing the big bad for the next two phases. That's what this
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
That's-
multiple big bads for the next.
I was
one.
gonna
and
say,
maybe. Yeah.
I think there's gonna be
Well,
multiple,
they've already leaked it. I mean, or not even leaked it. It was in the trailers. MODOK's in this.
Well, yes, MODOK.
Well, I'm not
and-
even talking about that one. I think you might see some other
Oh, we
villains
might.
coming up on the
What were you
precipice.
thinking?
Doctor Doom.
You think might be in this?
I don't know if he's going to be in this, although he could appear in
Oh.
post credits.
Well, they said the
credits,
casting
yeah, that's possible.
for Fantastic Four should
But do
be
you
coming
think
out
we'll
soon.
get Doom this year?
That's
I
a
think we
good
get Doom
question.
before the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But I don't know that
Okay.
they would want Doom to overshadow Kang, because Kang is such a big part for probably the next year and a half.
Right, but they do in the comics at
Maybe
least
2 years.
interact a decent amount.
Okay.
Kang and Doom.
Josh really liked Thor.
Agreed,
4.
Josh.
Needed some slight tweaks for
Yeah, I mean,
true
I didn't really, I didn't hate Thor. I do see where it gets a little silly.
But yeah,
I like
there are
some of the
super
jokes
silly
just
parts.
I think this is the difference. I think this is where
It's a Taika
we
Waititi
deviate.
movie. It's not a
I
Marvel
like
movie.
funny movies. I like funny superhero movies. I think comic books in general are pretty silly, and I
Oh,
appreciate
yeah.
when things are campy and silly in comic book things.
I just wanted to see.
but that's why people didn't take comic books movies seriously before. And that's what Marvel changed about comic book movies is they took the material seriously. And then you go and do freaking Zeus flicking off his robe and stuff, and it's
that
like,
was kind of dumb. Yeah.
all right, like,
Yeah.
come on.
I mean, the
now we're
first-
getting to Saturday morning cartoon silly. Like, that's not even Marvel or like funny. That's just
What I think I
That's-
would have liked to
it's just
see
not funny.
is Gore the God Butcher, like scene, because in the comics he goes on a complete rampage. I think I would have just liked to see more of the like gods he actually killed.
Yeah.
You know.
I
and a
will.
little
I will
more-
say this, and I think it's
like,
always been true. Oh,
add
go
a little
ahead,
more of his
sorry.
backstory, and then I didn't like with the sword, because the sword was supposed to be a part of the symbiote guy thing.
Yeah, no.
God, yeah, no, yeah. So I would have liked to seen a little bit of that. And
But
just
they didn't have the rights to the symbiotes, so they
Yeah.
couldn't do that.
I feel like they could have worked around.
Sony
it,
has the
or-
rights to it. To the,
You can't tell me they
sword.
couldn't have just had a sword that oozed, but not say that it was a symbiote, but us in the audience would have gotten it. Like, you can't tell me that.
I don't know. I think the problem with Thor is it's a Taika Waititi movie. That's
I like-
the
Well,
problem with
Chris
Thor.
Hemsworth
I do
said
too,
he's not
but
gonna come
he's not a
back
Marvel
unless
director.
The next film will be
Yeah.
more serious.
Yeah,
now,
even
so.
Chris Hemsworth said that it was too
Yeah.
silly, and he wants to get back to serious.
I feel like Thor Ragnarok was the right mixture of seriousness
Yes.
and funny. And it's just like you had the blueprint. Why couldn't you have carried it over for
Oh,
Thor
dude, one of the
4?
funniest jokes ever is that, I know him from work. It's one of the funniest jokes
Yeah.
ever in Marvel, dude. That is hilarious.
Marvel does need to lean a bit more to the darker side, I feel like.
well, I think
they
you could do both.
Well, no, yes, but they haven't even
Scarlet
really leaned
Witch,
towared it.
WandaVision was
No, they
pretty
tried.
dark.
that
No.
wasn't that wasn't
Multiverse
No.
of Madness was kind of
That-
dark.
No, it's not. Come
was.
on.
Moon
I
Knight
mean-
was pretty dark. Blade's gonna be
Dude,
pretty
they had
dark.
a hippo. They
They
a
have,
huge hippo.
yeah,
We'll
they
see
have
how
to make Blade
dark
dark.
There's nothing
but-
See
dark
how
in
dark
Moon
it
Knight
is.
other than his mental disability or his mental
That's
state.
messed up, Don.
I didn't mean disability. I meant state. His mental
He's a
state.
messed
murderer.
up.
He's slaughtering people left and right. People are
There's
dying all over
not,
the place.
dude.
Thor, the first
It's
one.
still
yeah.
Disney. It is still Disney, and
still
they will
pretty
never
dark.
cross any lines that matter. They will never do it.
Yeah.
Never.
What
ever,
lines
ever.
are you talking about?
Do you think we'll ever get a decapitation in Marvel?
Yes.
Hell no.
But the
Dude.
comics aren't that
In
dark.
Blade,
though.
I think we'll get them.
Like Marvel's not like
Probably, I
doesn't
can
go
see that.
in
Yeah.
the dark like
No
bloodiness
way.
that
There's
DC
no
does.
chance. There's no
Vampire
chance
hunting?
Deadpool is cutting anybody's head.
Yeah, there
limb,
is.
Blade, I
anything
think,
off.
yeah. But
Blade
Blade
is
is
not cutting
relatively a
anybody's head
newer
off.
character,
Nope.
I think.
You
So I don't
dying on
know.
that hill, Don?
If they cut somebody's head off, it will be like Twilight, and all we'll see is crystallized dust sparkling. That's what we'll see. We will never see blood. We will never see it. It'll be off camera, and you'll see a head roll. That's
They're
it.
making
You will
rated
never
R films.
you will never see on camera
Well-
a head being decapitated ever in Marvel.
Deadpool's
Well,
going to be
it's-
rated
Yeah,
R.
yep. Speaking of rated R,
Never.
Deadpool's going to be rated R. So I am excited for that, and I hope
Never
because
will
people love the first two Deadpool movies. So I'm hoping they don't mess this up because it has Ryan Reynolds and what's his face?
That's what I'm saying. We're gonna get a rated R
Jackman?
Deadpool.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine movie made by Disney. That's what we're getting. That's just think about that.
But they
So the
can't
only
mess it
rated
up,
R
though,
thing about this whole movie is he's going to be cussing a lot.
But
That's
they
the
can't
only
mess
thing
it
rated
up, though,
R in
right?
this movie. That's gonna
because
happen.
everyone
think
loved
so.
the first
Sorry,
two
it just
Deadpool
is.
movies.
I
No,
don't
the first he
believe it.
went nuts in the first. He killed everybody.
Oh, that's true.
He there's literally a scene where he's counting bullets as he's killing people and putting bullets.
But-
They're still going to kill people left and right.
Speaking of that, though, I don't know that Ryan Reynolds, like, if it's not a good movie, will go through to the end with it, you know? Or he'll come out in the end and be like, this is not a good movie. Do
The
not go
only
see it.
chance I can see is the very final fight for like a minute. They're going to let them go nuts for like a minute, but that's it. A minute. Maybe. It is not going to be like a 5 to 10 minute.
I don't
like,
know.
Super straight up Deadpool Wolverine battle scene. We are never going to get that, dude. It's too destructive. They would be cutting limbs off and blood would be flying everywhere.
All right.
There's no way.
You want to put a bet on it?
That we will get carnage, like actual what it would look like if those two went nuts on a bunch of people. You think
Talking
we're going to get the
body
realistic
parts,
version of
Decapitations,
it?
explosions.
No way.
Just like the original
No.
first Deadpools.
Yeah, because the first Deadpool was really bloody.
Crystallized
What?
dust.
There's not
But
a lot
the
of
general
blood, but you
public-
see him doing stuff. You see him cutting off limbs.
Yeah, it's going to
You
be very
see
similar.
him doing things. It will not happen on screen. They will never decapitate a person on screen in a Disney movie.
They might.
There's no way, dude. I'm sorry.
The awkward Squirtle, we're debating whether or not Marvel will become as dark as DC with like the blood and grime. Like, will they ever show that on screen? And Don's
Never.
saying there's no way. And Joe is saying he thinks there's a possibility, and we're just letting them go ham at it right now.
Yeah,
All
they're
right, Don,
pretty.
let's
pretty
place a
into
bet.
this.
If we don't see any
I'll place a bet on it.
decapitations or limbs being cut off.
On
then
screen, you're
to-
saying we will actually see them
Yes.
severed.
You guys gonna dye your
Severed.
hair? Like, what are we
So
talking about?
the loser,
What's the bet?
the loser has to host a show completely in character as a
Okay.
character from the movie.
Oh,
Okay.
awkward
Yeah,
squirrel. Yeah,
Awkward
no,
Squirtle's
it's
on
Disney.
Don's side.
Okay,
Awkward
Mickey Mouse
Squirtle's on
shows up.
Don's-
Mickey Mouse shows up in
Deadpool
Deadpool with
with
AK.
Disney's about to get rough.
Listen,
Disney,
I really
Disney
hope
already
so.
set the
want
path
That's
for
what I'm saying.
R-rated
Look,
content.
I still
on
think
Disney
it could be a
Plus.
good movie. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad movie. I'm just saying we're not going to get Deadpool 1 or Deadpool 2. We're
What
just
I'm
not gonna
saying
get
is
that.
they've already
We're not
stated
getting
that
that.
they're not going to interfere with what Deadpool was.
Okay.
I hope so because
right.
I really enjoyed the.
Like I said,
the
rated
Deadpool
R. All you have to
movies.
do to be
And
rated
if they're
R
going
is say
towards
fuck 3
Midnight
times.
Suns, it's going
That's
to
it.
have to be.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
All you
Yeah.
have to do to be rated R.
I don't
is
know
say
how you
fuck
could
3
do a
times.
vampire movie without blood.
Twilight did it.
Thank you, man. I
What are you
appreciate
talking about?
it.
Yeah,
Twilight
but
did an entire
Twilight's not
series
Blade,
with no
bro.
blood. The worst
Blade's a little
vampire-
different than Twilight.
Oh no! Well, yeah, that's fair.
Yes.
No, that's fair.
I
Yeah, that's
do. I
absolutely
see.
fair.
I do
You're gonna
think
have to
Blade.
have
We're
a lot
gonna
of
get
blood.
some
If not
decapitations
in
and stuff.
Deadpool,
That's where I
definitely in
do.
Blade. Like,
I
mean,
do
come on.
think.
But we're not, dude. You think we're gonna get even like Blade 1 level violence?
Yep.
No,
I don't know about
I
that.
think what they're
I don't-
gonna do.
in a Disney movie.
I don't know if
So-
we're gonna get anywhere near the violence that we're
So
in. the
here's
Blade
what I
movies.
think's going to happen.
All right, Joe. What do you
I
think's
think
going to
there's
happen?
going to
Okay.
be two different versions of the movie that go out. There's going to be an unedited version and then the edited version. Disney Plus has already started the framework for putting blockers on certain parts of Disney Plus so that only adults can access them and putting R-rated content on there. They're doing all this because they know that in order to keep the market share that they've built over all these years, they're going to have some darker stuff, as we talked about, but also keep enough of their fare applicable to the general audience. Because that's how you make money, is by appealing to 4 quadrants. Because anytime you lock out a quadrant or 2, you're cutting off a large portion of your profit base. But
That's true.
Deadpool proved that R-rated comic book movies can make money as long as you do them right.
Yeah.
So they're gonna play the best of both worlds.
Disney has made money for decades without ever doing any of that.
That's not true.
From their
Disney still made them, just not under the Disney banner. They've always made movies that were R-rated. They just didn't put Disney on them. That's why they have so many subsidiaries. They can make these 20th century films because they own that label. Like,
well,
you think,
Joe?
So you think they'll put Deadpool out as a 20th century movie? And
I'm not saying they will. I'm saying they could.
I just think if it's Star Wars, Marvel, or Disney, if it has one of those 3 names, it will never go super dark.
Yes, Awkward Squirrel, that's a good point, but it was, like you said, it was in the background. They never put it in your face. It was never there for you on screen. Like, you had to really,
they made a Song of the South.
That's a different thing, though. That's a little bit different. But you're right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Well, they showed Mufasa getting murdered by his brother and ran over by a herd of wildebeest.
I mean, but there was no blood. There was really nothing there.
That's,
it was just,
that's
it
my
looked
point.
like he went to sleep.
Right.
They showed Bambi's mother died.
Twilight. It will look like Twilight. When that dude gets his head cut off on the top of a mountain, what happens?
They showed princesses sleeping, getting sexually assaulted.
It's so ridiculous.
I mean, come on.
The worst
movies
came
ever made. Them without any...
Can I say
Twilight
something, guys?
is the worst movies ever made, just in case you guys didn't know. Twilight, that is the worst.
Never watched them.
Ever
I
made.
Completely agree, Galaxy.
Ever made.
It might take a few years before they do more, because I feel like they're taking a huge risk right now, and they want to see how it pays off at least.
Can I say something, though?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
may agree with Joe just a little bit, because they did bring over Netflix's Daredevil, and that had a lot of blood and gore in it, and there was a lot of backlash because I think they removed it, and people were like, why are you removing one of the greatest put together series? But I do agree that they are playing it safe, because guys, they just lost 2.4 million subs.
Isn't
they're going to have to do something soon, or
right? But these are all
Deadpool's on Disney Plus right now.
But we're talking about things that weren't made by them, that they are bringing on to.
Okay.
I'm talking about something that is actually put out by them
by Disney
under Marvel Studios name banner.
Well,
that's a different thing, because Marvel, Disney, and Star Wars all target to kids and theme park stuff. That's what they target to
Venom
with those 3 franchises. So they're not going to put somebody's head getting chopped off by Deadpool or Wolverine when they know there's a 5-year-old that's going to want to watch this movie.
Just remember, just because Venom wasn't a Disney movie doesn't mean it wasn't a Marvel movie.
Yes, rest in peace, Ben. Absolutely.
100%.
What wasn't a Marvel?
That's a Venom. Just because it wasn't a Disney movie doesn't mean it wasn't a Marvel movie. That had plenty of blood.
It was a Sony movie first, though.
It was a Sony movie, and it
wasn't a Disney movie.
But it wasn't made by Disney.
That's what I'm saying. Right. I'm talking about under the actual banner of Marvel Studios. They have to say, this is our movie. We wrote it.
I think they will.
A little bit different, dude. It's a lot different.
I think it's going to happen.
Okay. Again, I could be completely wrong. I just don't think it will happen. I just really don't.
They could try it, but it might be a while.
100%. And I do think that this new season of Mando hopefully will help them. I know us at the Jedi Academy are extremely excited.
The trailer alone looks super, and I don't think
Andor should have put them into the Game of Thrones or House of Dragon conversation. I'm sorry.
I just don't think it got the attention.
It was that good.
But it did. I don't think it did. It just didn't get the attention that it needed.
Which is stupid. I'm sorry. That's just wrong. Because everybody said, "Oh, House of Dragon is so great. It's so great. It's so great. It's so great." They take time. They build up the characters. Oh, Andor, it's so slow. Nothing ever happens. It literally did exactly what House of Dragon did. They took their
I
time.
need you to calm
built the
down
character.
and not
Sorry,
be
dude.
taking shots
I'm
at House of
fired up.
Dragon.
No. I'm saying House of Dragon was amazing. No, I'm not taking any shots. At
Joe
House.
was about to put on full
no.
Valerian steel and come for your life.
No. I'm 100, I'm just saying
Taking
that
shots.
if you're going to say the House of Dragon is amazing because it's a slow burn and they build character up, and then Andor sucks because it's a slow burn and they build character up, I don't understand your argument. Like,
Yeah, that's
I
a
don't get
good
your
point. Like I said, I feel like, and I think we're
Yeah.
gonna get more with Grogu, and also I'm hoping with the Bad Batch Omega
that's
gets
what I
a
think Bad
spinoff,
Batch is
and
going
that
to do.
I hope that targets their more younger audience.
Yeah.
And
Well, and don't
helps
forget we
them
have
in that.
Skeleton Crew coming out too from Star Wars, which is it's Jude Law, but it's
No,
a
Andor
younger.
was not marketed.
Oh, it's got Jude Law. I might watch it just for that. I'm a huge
But it's got
Jude Law fan.
they said it's kind of like Stranger Things in Star
Okay.
Wars. It's like a group of kids.
Hey.
That's a Disney Plus show, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a Disney Plus show.
Yeah, Andor was not.
My
Yes.
son had no interest in watching Andor. He loved
No.
watching.
Well, Andor
And I
was
get
more
it,
for
but
adults. It honestly was. It was
right.
more political and stuff.
But that's
There
what I'm
was-
saying. You're
Luke
cutting
is
out a
absolutely right,
quadrant.
too. Yeah.
That's what Luke was saying. Also, I think.
Yep. No,
is that
you're both
you're
right.
isolating your audience with that.
Show should not been named Andor. They should have named the show Spark.
Yes,
Yes.
I do agree that the
agree with
name was probably not the best choice
I
either.
think that
They
actually
do-
is a good name for it.
They should have
I
named
agree.
it Cass, Ass, or Grass.
That was a
love
good one.
I love it.
Oh god.
No, I've heard Spark of the Rebellion a few times before, and yeah, I really like that. I really like that name. I think it would have been a better name too. I agree.
And I feel like people didn't know like that it was coming out. Like they didn't do much.
know
They
about
should
it.
have named it Andor,
Well,
a
that's
Star
what-
Wars story.
And therefore, I didn't have much interest in watching it.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm
I'm
telling
sorry,
you,
I just-
it's like Luke just said. Luke said it. They didn't have great marketing. It was not marketed well. It just wasn't.
No. And that's
really
that's the
wasn't.
biggest issue, and that's where they fell off because I feel it definitely had the potential to be
Yeah.
a great show for them and to help them capture a lot of audience, but it just
Dude, I'm telling you, there's a scene
fell
where
short.
Skarsgård is having this back and forth with one of his informants. And the dude's like, "What have you done for the rebellion?" And he's like, "Dude, I've given my entire life. I've sacrificed relationships. I've sacrificed everything." Dude, it's one of the best acted moments in the show. I mean, he deserves an Emmy for it or something, dude. He is
I want to
so
know.
good at it.
I want to know what the father of all the Skarsgårds, how much he got for his soul when he sold it.
That's what I'm saying, dude. He's straight up.
Jesus Christ!
Every
Every single
single one
TV
of the
show
kids.
and movie on it's like there's a Skarsgård in it. It's all
yeah.
like,
Dude, he's
you,
like
you just
Brendan
throw a dart.
Fraser.
You hit a
It's like, which
Skarsgård.
one can do it this
Fraser
week?
from that movie.
Who's available today?
What's the movie where Brendan Fraser sells his soul to the
Bedazzled.
devil? Yeah.
Great film. Great
Yeah,
film.
it is a
Yeah.
good film. It is.
They're needing
Mando, you're,
simple
Yeah.
storytelling in the research.
yeah, Mando definitely 100%. Like it was just very not cut and dry, I should say, but it
It
got
was
to the point.
also an ode to Kurosawa and
Yeah.
the old samurai films and
You
It
could,
was all-
yeah.
every
Absolutely.
episode was basically a different. Yeah,
Absolutely.
the Seven Samurai and
Yep.
they just touched on all of them.
Yeah,
Absolutely, man.
I do think that in order for Disney to get back some of these subs, they do need to take a kind of turn, and maybe they do the edgy thing, and everything Joe is saying is correct, and maybe that's how they'll do it, or maybe they'll just continue with what they know and hope that continues to work.
Maybe we
Or
have
not.
inside sources. Maybe we're just guessing and pulling it out of our asses. Who knows?
The
Oh, I
world
thought
may never know.
But based on what Luke said, I think behind the stage, like we've all agreed that there's kind of been a lack of good storytelling lately, and that's
I
just
liked
all
it
what
all.
we want.
I have no problems with any of it. I like everything. I'm
Okay.
easy to please.
But I think the reason Mando got such a big hit is that like it kind of or maybe Bad Batch followed Mando's. You know, you get the cute character, you have the surrounding cast, and it kind of carries itself.
Yeah, I mean that playbook has worked for so
That's
many.
true.
That playbook has worked for so many, and we do love that kind of a story.
The
I mean,
hero's
it
journey
captures everyone. Yeah,
the hero's journey. You present it with it, you turn it down, and then you get thrusted into it. The reluctant hero.
Absolutely, man.
It's a tale that we all have seen many times, and it works.
There are no original stories.
No.
I didn't appreciate Iron Man until I later went back and rewatched it, and I'm like, this is a good.
Do not get Joe started
Let's
on
not
Iron
start
Man.
this. Let's not
We are
do
not
this.
getting Joe started. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Oh no, I think it's a good movie. I just agree.
No,
it's
I
mostly
did
based
not.
on nostalgia.
I don't think I was into it when did it come out? Like 2008. I was still a young kid. I don't think I didn't watch it till
I was a young kid too in 2000.
Yes, back in my younger years.
23 years young.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I think I was 8 maybe at the time. I don't know.
Fuck
What
you.
2016. 16 probably.
When were
I
you
say
born?
this
What year
with
were you
the
born?
sincerest-
98. I say
I'm
this
older
with
than
the,
you.
with the
Oh my God.
sincerest, heartfelt appreciation and warmth. Go fuck yourself.
Right.
I'm 26, and I'm like, this man's
Exactly.
25. What are you, 24?
Retired is because all stories
Yeah.
bit deconstructing. Deconstructing how? I just wonder what that
Breaking
means.
down the character characteristics that make them
Who they are. Okay.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's all
they
hitting people
figured
very
out to break
emotionally. I
down
think
the
a lot of
characters,
it hurts.
but they just don't know how to build them back up.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's the problem.
Right.
It's
I
like,
think the problem is people don't want to actually relate to superheroes.
Yeah.
I think it's the it used to be I want to be just like them when it was all good stuff. But then when they want to try to relate to us with the bad stuff, they're like, no. Let's go back to the thing they were doing,
The basics.
where they were just shooting each other with lasers. That was fun.
And I feel like back when we all really, really loved the movies, and Grant will all still go watch
guys.
them. Josh!
Oh my God,
Josh!
we have been
Look
blessed
at
by
this.
his presence.
Look at this.
The man himself.
We're not worthy.
Vin
We're
Diesel
not
is a
worthy.
spoiled spud.
The Midnight Train himself has returned.
Rotten potatoes.
Yo,
What's
my
going
God.
on, guys?
Oh, how's it going,
Josh, I missed you.
Oh, what's
I have
going
not
on,
talked to you in
Collins?
a while.
I missed you guys as well. I had to drop in. I thought we were
Nice.
still continuing shooting the final scene tonight, but we're going to do that other half tomorrow night. So they were like, "You're pretty much wrapped up." So I was like, "Oh shoot, well, I'll just drop in to see what's going
What's
on."
going on, man?
So the final seizure is over for tonight.
The
No
final
more.
scene- Oh, tomorrow night we'll do the second half of it, and then the final scene will be done.
I agree,
Then I
Luke.
get a
Look, man,
break.
look,
I'm
look,
with you.
next time you just want to go on a 2-week airsoft trip, man. Just you can
I
lie
love
to
it
them,
all.
but don't lie to me, man. Don't lie to bring me with you next time, man.
My
I wanna go
problem
play
with
airsoft
Batman
in the
versus
woods.
I'm gonna tell you
Superman
guys
is
right
just is one
Yeah,
word.
the next time you go on an undisclosed
Why did you
say that name?
just bring them all
Don't say that name. Don't say that name.
That's my grandma's name.
God.
Once
Martha?
we
Don't say that
get to-
name.
Are
we
you
need a
kidding me?
movie
That's
of
my grandma's name.
Is it really?
No,
It really is my grandma's
No. it's not.
name.
Don't say that name. Don't say that name. Why did you say that name?
God, yeah, no.
Oh, wait a minute,
Batman
no, it's
versus
Bale. Hold on, no,
Superman.
hold on, it's Bale. Or it's Affleck. So
Rachel.
I like
Why
Ben
Why did you say that
Affleck
name?
as
I like Ben
Batman,
Affleck as
though.
Batman too.
Yeah.
I like
or
Christian Bale.
you can just do Bale.
See, I don't know about that. I like Christian Bale way
It's
better. as
Keaton,
You have to
Batman.
bail
he's
out on
fucking
the
humble.
Affleck, Bale.
Worst Batman voice ever, Bale. I hate his Batman voice.
Josh,
Why did you say that name?
Josh, I don't know if you said, but who do you
Where are
think
the other
Batman
drugs going?
is that they're going to keep around?
What about are they keeping around?
They said they came out and said one of the Batman.
Where are the other drugs going?
The one they're going to be keeping around for future films.
Yeah, they're
I
keeping
think we're
Keaton
gonna
to do. They're doing Batman
No,
Beyond.
no, I think they're gonna show a new Batman, like
I-
a first time a Batman.
I hope
Where are the other drugs going?
I hope they really
I'm
do
dancing
introduce the
Oh,
Michael
shit, that was
Keaton
great.
as the Batman from Batman Beyond.
I
to
want
be
Ben
honest.
Affleck. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Keaton's gonna be Batman Beyond.
love
I just want them
Batman.
to bring back Tom Hardy as Bane. That's all. Yes, Batman.
I was born.
Yes.
I was
Yeah,
born into the
Rachel,
dark.
Rachel,
You Me-
There, you'll try to
I
stop
was
me.
born into the darkness,
I made
molded
sure
by.
I was the perfect
I feel like I have
You
slipped
merely
into a
adopted
Bale
the
Oh my
Bane.
God, this is
Tom
great.
Hardy.
I have slipped into the Bane
And then,
universe somehow.
You know,
and
Mr. Wayne, it's me, Marco Kane.
Mark
I
Marco
agree with that,
Kane.
Galaxy.
I'm here to help you out through this troubling time, Mr. Wayne.
I don't know
Mr.
why
Wayne.
Batman Beyond
It's
would be
me,
such a
Michael
great
Caine.
movie to see
Oh
on
yes,
screen.
yes. I too would love Batman Beyond, but I'm
Like,
afraid I would be dead by then.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh,
It will be a
shit.
long. It will be a long time, Luke. For
Civil
sure.
Alfred
War
was
was
an old
a
man.
I don't know why they would wait so long. It's just like that would be. First off, the animated movie was
just make
amazing.
it Elseworlds
It
film.
was
Like,
just-
come on.
It's the nostalgia
what I'm-
behind it would
yeah.
definitely get
No,
so many
it
people
depends.
into it. I feel like it's a something that they just need to do. Personally,
Well, they might do it.
Someday.
Depending. It depends on. So we're probably gonna get Nightwing because if they're doing Damian Wayne's, we'll probably get Nightwing
Yeah, yeah.
and Red
Yeah.
Hood,
James Gunn
which
would do a
then
good
we
one.
could get Grayson Batman.
Right. No,
I
you're right.
agree.
Very
Why
true,
don't
Luke.
we-
Very
why don't
true.
we do,
Yeah.
Why
Look,
don't
you
we
could
get
just
John
pop in if
Johns
you
on
want.
the big screen?
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Luke,
Hop in,
Luke,
man. Hop in.
Dude, yeah, you're giving some great points right now.
Martian Manhunter movie, anybody? You know, we can actually
Oh,
see
I
a
love
Martian
it.
catch
Oh,
on
dude,
fire.
a Martian Manhunter movie would be
Oh,
absolutely
that's my
insane.
number
Yeah,
one.
no, that's why I said
want a
Batman
Martian
Beyond
Manhunter,
should be
man.
at Elseworlds. Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
I'm looking forward to Lanterns.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. We have not gotten like a cohesive, like good Lantern show in quite some
But
time.
I don't even think they need to do a show. Just do the movie. I feel like I understand like going with a series. You know, you can spread the story out a bit more. But I just feel like Green Lantern and that dynamic of a character with all the vast different Lantern core that there are would just serve. I would love to see Brightest Day Blackest Night on screen. Like I kid you not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
I feel like that would definitely be an experiential event, which is why I said earlier, I do feel like James Gunn taking over and Marvel kind of stumbling right now against the ropes. I mean, like they're still
Mhm.
Marvel, they're still, you know, doing great, but like they're not producing the same quality that we knew them from before in a way. And so with that, I mean, look, I'm just saying, I have not even seen Ant-Man 3. I can see Ant-Man 3 and it could be the best movie ever. But if
Yeah.
it's not, then it's kind of like, well,
I'm gonna be upset.
You know, there's got to be something that changes, and if Flash really delivers, as much as we've talked about how much we dislike all the just personal stuff aside, just looking at that trailer from an objective point of view,
It
that
looks
trailer's
amazing.
Fire.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
It's fire. Right?
It might be one of the best trailers I've seen in a very long
quite
time.
some time.
Long
Yeah.
And like
time,
it's better. In my opinion, it was better than Quantumanium trailers.
I agree.
Like,
Oh,
personally,
Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
absolutely
no,
think-
absolutely. I agree with
But
that.
we've seen it, so you know how with the
I don't think
Ant-Man
Joe agrees with
hated
that.
it and the audience
I
loved it.
liked it. I
It
also
could be
think
the reverse with the
not-
Flash.
not
where the
to-
critics loved it, and the audience is going to hate
not
it.
to go
So-
back
That
to
would
the
be
Iron
crazy
Man
if
thing,
it was like that.
but it
my
Yeah, but I don't
used-
judge
it
anything
leaned
by what the
heavy into
critics
the
or the
nostalgia.
people say. I don't care what they say. I'm sorry.
It
What,
played on our
Flash did?
heartstrings. Yes, the Flash trailer. It leaned heavily into nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I'm not
course.
saying that's a bad thing, but
It
that's
shouldn't
why
even be
it
the
came
Flash. It
across
should
no,
be
of
called the
course.
Batman.
It had the benefit
It
of
shouldn't
that
even be the
nostalgia.
Flash movie. It should be called the Batman's.
Well, there's gonna be, there might be multiple
Batman
Flash too.
Flashpoint is what it should be called more.
yeah.
It should just be called Flashpoint.
I agree with that. It should be called Flashpoint.
But we
Because
didn't
this-
see the movie. The Batman part of it could be smaller than we think it is.
That's true.
That's a good point.
I don't know. They said he's got a pretty big part in it. though.
Yes, but I mean, like, there might be a lot more Flash stuff that they're just not.
Oh, they said the
showing
Flash is
because-
literally in every frame. Ezra
Right,
Miller is
and
literally
there's
in every frame
multiple
of the movie.
Flashes in the movie.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
so is Ezra Miller is he also going to be? Because I've heard that this might be something floating around. Will he also be Reverse Flash?
Nobody knows. We haven't seen the movie.
I
Probably.
think that could be the case since they have both of the freaking Ezra Millers
I don't get
in
an
the
early copy.
universe. So I think they could set up where the Reverse Flash might be one of him, and they
Ezra Miller
might
should
change
just
up the
become the
story.
Reverse Flash, and Grant Gustin should become the
agree.
Flash, and then they could just move on.
I agree.
They should just kill him off.
I think that'd
like,
be an even swap, and
Don't
it would
kill
be
the
a
Flash.
suiting.
Unless you're on Wally West.
I feel like they need
I
to
love
set
Wally
up
West.
they need to
Just
set
like
up the
limited?
speedster first.
I just think it's a
before
little
they
too
kill
early.
off this one.
Yeah.
Just
They
get
need
rid
to
of
set
Ezra.
up another-
Just leave him somewhere.
Plus, you need
Yeah.
the Tornado Twins.
Just leave him in another world. Like just
A vacuum.
yeah.
Let him rot
Put
in
him
the hate
somewhere
that
and
he
let him
has for
rot.
Listen,
soldier
this is
feelings.
what's going to happen. He's going to have to run so
Care.
fast to get the time speeds continue the speed force back in place that he's just going to run himself out of existence.
That's literally what he did
Good.
in Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Yes, I feel like it's exactly
Good.
what's going to happen.
That's what should happen.
I feel like that's literally what's going to happen.
He wants it in the movie and real life.
He
Look,
said,
if
Ezra
he-
Miller,
if he
start
is-
running.
If he is alive at the end of this movie, I literally will not watch another DC movie. If it's part of the DCU, I will not watch. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. James Gunn said he's going to use this movie to reset things. So if he doesn't reset things, then I don't care anymore. If they're just going to let this dude get away with what he did, then I'm not giving him any more money.
I agree. No,
Sorry,
seriously.
like they don't deserve my
No,
money.
for sure. He doesn't deserve, especially he doesn't deserve
No.
to be the face of
No,
what causes them to have this whole
Not after the
big
way they
rebrand,
Cavill and all
rebrand
them, man.
almost, you would
Yeah.
say.
cancel everybody else but Ezra Miller. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That's
Well,
terrible.
I had a guy comment
Terrible.
under my trailer
No
reaction
sense.
for it, and he was like, "Yeah, I believe we should keep Ezra regardless of." I'm like, "What do you mean regardless?" Hold on. First of all, I'm like, "Listen, we're gonna go back. If we're going down this lane, we're going back down this lane."
A lot of people don't know
Okay,
what
my
Ezra
bad, my
Miller
bad.
did. A lot of them
It's
don't
okay.
Yes,
understand why
exactly,
he's a human piece of
exactly.
garbage.
I think we have a.
They're like, what did he do? What did he
Don.
do? Why are we trying
Yeah.
to cancel?
I think we
this?
have a
lot
guest.
of people don't know that.
Oh, we
in
do.
the
Yes, I'm sorry.
backstage.
Yes, we did.
Hey!
Sorry.
Oh,
Welcome,
what's
Luke.
up? How we
Luke.
doing today?
Ooh.
Well, y'all called me on, and I'm like, well, if you're talking
No,
DC,
yeah, man.
I gotta jump on.
There
Okay.
we go, man.
But all right, so when it comes to Ezra, this is the last time we're seeing Ezra. They're not bringing him back.
I
after
Okay.
hope
this
so.
movie.
I hope so.
They've got to
Yeah.
keep.
Thank you.
They've got to keep everybody happy right now. They've got to get this movie out. They could not reshoot because that would have been too much money.
Absolutely.
He is the movie. I mean, he is.
Yeah.
And
They did reshoot a new ending, though, right? From what I understand.
yeah. They shot a new ending. They've got to do the changes. Don't get me wrong. I hate that they lost Cavill, but they had to. They've
Yeah.
got this.
Oh,
they've
sure.
got to start. They've got to start fresh. They've got to get a new universe. They've got
They
to
got to get younger.
They want to build a new universe, but an established universe. So you can go younger Superman, which works because if you have younger, you can build that up. Then you can also bring in Batman a little bit older, who's established. That means you can bring in Nightwing earlier than normal. You can bring in Red Hood sooner than you could. You can bring in Tim Drake even. I mean, they've got the whole world open.
We have to get the Court of Owls, right? We have to.
I think that's going to be the story that they're going to tell. I think the
Okay.
first story with Court Owls.
But I
That's
think
what I
that'll
want.
be with Robert Pattinson's
Well,
Batman
one.
too.
No, I don't think it'll be
No.
Robert Pattinson. I think Court Owls will be with this new Brave and the Bold. I think you're going to see two more Batman or the Batman movies. You're going to see a part 1, part 2, part 3, and that's going to be done. They want to get through that
Well,
trilogy.
he said
as soon as
that's
possible.
Elseworlds anywhere. Anywhere,
And,
right?
and you're not going to see many Elseworlds. I think Elseworlds you're going to see like 2, 3, maybe even 4 at the most, but they don't want to focus on it because you have got to get your audience used to a Batman. And so you're going to have literally 2 Batman movies coming out between 1 to 2 years between each other with 2 different actors. You got to have 2 different Gothams. You got to have 2 different Batmobiles, Batcaves, everything. So they have to get their audience on board. That
was one thing I was thinking about that was going to be a problem. Like, how are the audience going to keep up with as many character changes that we're doing? Especially Momoa's staying in the world and he's going as Lobo now.
No,
So, like,
Well, that's not.
Well, that's not
not
confirmed.
a.
That's just
No,
one line.
they've already said
okay.
they've already even come out and said he's not changing his Lobo. He's sticking around as Aquaman. There's going to be a third Aquaman.
Oh, did they say that?
Okay.
Yeah. They've
I
already
heard
said
that they
that.
just said that he wasn't going to play more than one part in the DCU
Right.
going forward.
They also came out after
I didn't
that
hear
saying
them.
that
Oh, I
there's
didn't
gonna
hear
be a
that.
third. Yeah,
So-
it was kind of in
Okay.
articles and stuff, but the third one is going to happen with him.
Okay.
Mara's
like that.
going to be gone. I think Maris can be recast after this movie.
What do you think they're going to do with Young Justice? Because a lot of people love that show.
That show is amazing.
That show is never coming back.
Okay.
I hate to be that way,
Damn.
but like Young Justice, for the comic book fan, for people who love the show, yes, but it was not gaining any new subscribers. It just wasn't. Because my problem with Young Justice was they kept setting up Darkseid and kept pushing it and
pushing him back. Yeah, that's true. They did.
I agree.
Like season 2, you set up Darkseid, and it's like, oh, we got season 3. Let's do Darkseid. No, and then season 4 for the comic book fan, people were excited, but there was another half of the audience that really did not like the show because it was so focused on trauma and depression and deconstructing these characters. And so a lot of, like, personally, I like season 2 a lot more than season 1 and 2 a lot more than 3 and 4.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They did dive into the depression and the darkness of these characters, what they're going through. And they released it in 2020 when everyone was going through depression.
Okay.
So that's why I say I think Young Justice is done. The one show that I cannot believe they're giving a season 2 is Velma.
I fucking agree. Oh my god!
I was telling Josh that. Yeah,
hating on Velma, man.
How does that get a season
I watched
2?
the first episode and I was already completely disturbed.
Yeah.
It's like
Velma was awful.
Well,
Velma
I mean, it's possible that we're not the target demographic.
No, there was no target. Who's your target?
It really wasn't.
It's like having this show without Josh. Like
the person that spends $45 on Blu-ray the first series.
But it doesn't even have Scooby-Doo in it. But it doesn't even have Scooby-Doo in it. It doesn't have Scooby-Doo. It changes the characters fundamentally. It makes jokes of
the audiences hate
character.
it. So, like, how is this show generating any
It's
money?
not really good. It's not good. It's just funny. It's not good.
It's just Mindy Kaling's abomination of trying.
But no one likes the jokes.
But where I think it's coming out of, it's cheap. It's a cheap show, and you can tell the animation is cheap.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on. They just wanted to get something.
This is no different though than like Paradise PD or F is for Family or Family Guy or anything. It's no different than any of them.
But what they're going off of is there was so much traffic on the show because of how bad it was in season 1. It's not going to have that same traffic for season 2, but it had that traffic for season 1. It had enough where it said, oh, normally shows you are given a season 2 after the first or second episode's reception. And so they probably, after that first episode or first 2 episodes that was released, people just went to hate watch it. So many people watched it. And so people they were like, oh, let's give it a season 2. It's very dumb, but I don't fully blame them because they didn't have anything else in the can, basically, because their animation is basically done. I mean, you got Velma and Harley Quinn. That's the only animation that Warner Brothers is really doing right now, other than Cartoon Network.
They should have kept close.
DC movies are killing it. The DC animated movies are all awesome.
Yeah,
the DC animated movies, yes, but that's not the series that they're working on.
Oh well, yeah, no, that's not a show, but their animation is killing it right now. It's way better than their regular movies.
I think Long Hollow is cautious because they are in a lot of debt, so they need to generate a lot of money. Other than cheap shows, they're going to be cautious. Sorry, Don.
Here's the thing.
No, you're good.
In the past few years, every studio, almost every studio, has gone in debt badly because they've been battling it out for the streaming services. And I don't blame them, but the problem is a lot of what they did that I thought was very dumb on most studios is they were doubling down on streaming services. And then with the movies, they became very experimental. A lot of the movies that you have seen come out from Disney, from Warner Brothers, have been like movies that if you sat back and thought about, it's like, wow, not a mass audience is going to be jumping up and down to watch this movie. But they've been experimenting. Like, why in the world would you release, because you're needing money, like Warner Brothers released Don't Worry Darling last year, and that movie flopped terribly. But it wasn't for a mass audience.
I think they're just trying to get as much content out and hope that something sticks. and they're not really looking at what they actually are making.
But that's the problem.
Well, what Warner Brothers is doing now is they're cutting budgets, and they're trying to make less expensive movies with more niche audiences. Because if you're spending less, you don't need as broad of appeal for each project. Because that's how horror movies have been making money for ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Blumhouse. Blumhouse is killing it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you just need enough overhead. As long as the difference between what you're spending and what you're making, it covers your,
I think Smile made a bunch of money too.
Oh yes, Smile made a ton.
What, didn't it crack 100 million?
Yeah, but here's the thing that that a lot of CEOs need to learn, and I think they're starting to. Smile's marketing was incredible. Megan's
yes, it was.
marketing was incredible. If they can actually hit that younger demographic to get things trending on TikTok, trending on YouTube Shorts, like get those things trending, like Wednesday. Wednesday exploded because it was trending. I love that show.
It was a fun show.
Yeah.
But you know why people enjoyed that show so much? Because
it was fun.
Well, it was fun. You were given the character that you loved growing up. They didn't change her. They didn't deconstruct her either. They just gave you the character. And so people wanted that feeling of what they grew up with. They updated stuff, but you felt good. What?
What'd you say, Josh?
I was saying, take that, Velma.
and
once again,
deconstruction. I think like a lot of superhero shows, if they just went back to the basics, we would love these movies again. I think.
Except everybody was saying that the movies were tired, and it was the same thing. And people complained about Marvel doing it. They said it was too formulaic, and now people complain because it's too different. You can't have it both ways.
Oh, they will never be happy.
Here's the difference, though. When people were complaining about formulaic, people were still loving the movies. Now that they changed it up, people aren't loving the movies. I'll take formulaic any day of the week.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll take what works. Yeah.
And then they also, and one thing too, I think.
I mean, people hated the Patriots for 20 years, and all they did was win. So.
I still do.
Well, and the sad part for Marvel is, I love Marvel so much. Like Marvel is my favorite franchise.
Yeah.
But I think their problem was they put like 3 to 4 Marvel projects all together that weren't received well. You had Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness was not received well.
Black Widow wasn't received well.
Black Widow actually was. Black Widow.
I was gonna say I really like Black Widow.
I did not like that.
Here's the thing, people.
I liked all of them.
A lot of times we don't look at Black Widow as good as it was. It did great. Black Widow did really well. It was formulaic, but it worked. It came out at the wrong time. It should have come out after Civil War, but that's what we got.
Well, right.
Well, it should have came out
after
sometime earlier than that, even.
Yeah.
And then another one that did extremely well that people don't remember did as well as it did was Shang-Chi. That movie did incredible because it was.
I love that movie. Yeah,
it was
fantastic.
It went back to the formula, the Marvel formula. That's why it worked. And
it also redeemed.
Trevor Slattery.
Yeah.
Well, him too, but yeah.
Iron Man 3 fixes that movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But then the problem is what really hurt Marvel, and I know this one I actually think hurt Marvel in a really bad way was She-Hulk.
The
show.
Well,
the problem with She-Hulk was it went after its audience instead of trying to let them in on the joke. It wasn't getting your audience in on the joke.
She-Hulk was so accurate to the comics.
No, but there were writers that were active. Like I know what Luke's saying because I read the articles. There were writers that were actively like targeting people who just didn't like the show, and it wasn't like they didn't construct it in a way where it was smart enough to be like, hey, we're
actually
let you in on
go
the
for
show.
your target audience, and then if other people are actually into it, let them get into it themselves.
Right.
Don't try and go after them and push it down there
because they don't like you. Like exactly, it's.
Well, I mean, it all goes down to how you like the show is how you like the last episode. That determines everything because the last episode was all the meta everything. And for me, I didn't enjoy the last episode because it set so much. It was It was doing the meta, which I actually liked the meta stuff. But
The
then
last episode wasn't my favorite.
they just wrapped everything up in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
like
it
the
was
series
so. It
I
was
really hope
character.
they give us a well put together Daredevil, or I'm going to be upset because I
They will.
have the.
I'm
You think it will
terrified.
be
if they
put
would
together?
have did.
I mean,
if they
Charlie
would have
Cox is
done
pretty
what
well
they
put
did-
together.
I mean, like, if it's not on the same par as the previous Daredevil show, which it probably won't because it's Disney.
Oh,
At
no,
least
it won't be as good as
I'm gonna be
Daredevil. No,
upset.
it will
Here's the
not be as
thing,
good as Daredevil.
I honestly, I will say, I think it's going to be incredible.
Okay.
The writers that got on it, they're holding back. They're not
Wait.
diving into it too quickly.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Did we not watch Hawkeye?
Yes.
Hawkeye was
Hawkeye's-
great.
Did you not see how nerfed Kingpin is compared to the
I was upset
original
about that.
series? He
even
literally
compar-
smashed a dude's head into a car door, and then all of a sudden he's just like,
He gets
"I'm
taken
big and
down by
bad.
Kate
I'm
Bishop.
big and bad. I'm big and bad."
Yeah, but
Like,
he's
all
not.
does
He didn't
in
get taken down. He's still
Daredevil,
alive.
Hawkeye.
I know, but
Yeah.
he gets
That
beaten
that
up
was
by
my argument earlier. We will
training.
never get the real versions under the Marvel
Well,
name.
I
We
like
will never get the real
See, I
versions of
like
these characters.
the comic book version of Kingpin.
Huh?
I like the comic book version of Kingpin that they did in Hawkeye.
D'Onofrio in Hawkeye or in the first season of or first and second season of Daredevil.
Was it more menacing?
all the
No,
the
but he
greatest
wasn't-
Oh,
it's
yeah.
but he wasn't as
the
much as
greatest
Kingpin.
portrayal ever of
This
Kingpin.
isn't those characters. They said that from the beginning. These are
But that's
another version
okay,
of those
why
characters.
bring them in? Then why bring them in?
Because they like the
Okay.
portrayals, they like their acting and everything, but it's not. It's a different storyline. It's a
Obviously, they
different-
didn't. If they
But-
liked the acting, they would have let him do it.
They
They
just-
liked it.
Let me put it like
Here's
this.
the thing, what-
This is what I feel like. I feel like they should have. I feel like they should have went the route that Lucifer went with Netflix, and how Fox, they did their last season. Boom, Netflix picked it up and just continued it.
Mhm.
Why couldn't Disney
because
just pick up?
why let somebody else make money off your
But-
properties? If you're
Just
starting a
get in
streaming
there.
service, you don't want that.
Well, but here's the thing too, though. I really enjoyed the Netflix Daredevil series. I really did.
Mhm.
If you really look at how they completed the show, they really completed it with season 3 in a really good way. We got the show, so now we're able to get a Daredevil that can interact with someone like a Spider-Man or these grounded characters throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You can bring in characters that we've always wanted to see him interact with. You can even if he's not as dark, I think the writers are pretty good for the show. I think that they're starting to take their time on these shows. Kevin Feige has specifically been talking about this show, and every show that Feige is very focused on is great every single time. Because recently, the ones that Feige's just kind of had his hands off of and let them do their thing, that's the projects that fail. He had nothing to do with She-Hulk. He had nothing to do with Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. He had nothing to do with Thor. All these movies that people have such problems with, he just let the directors handle it, and he had his hands off of it.
Well, what about
And-
Quantumanium? Was he involved with it?
Quantumanium, at the same time, he had
What about
a
Miss
lot-
Marvel?
Miss Marvel. I really like Miss Marvel.
That was
Not gonna lie.
great.
I love Miss
I love
Marvel.
Fantastic.
I love Miss Marvel, dude. Yeah.
Honestly, Feige talks so much about Miss Marvel. I think he did because he was knowing what was being built because of the Marvels. I think the problem with Quantumania, I think, is that it was still under the Chapek banner.
Okay.
Chapek screwed up so much with Disney, it's not even funny. Like, he could not keep his mouth shut half the time. He focused so much about content over quality. And so you saw it within Marvel. That's when we got so many projects in the past few years, because he had a mandate of, we got to get content out to get Disney Plus's numbers up.
I still like them all.
Do what?
I still like them all.
Joe has no
Yes.
complaints.
Joe has
I like
But
I
have
like
complaints.
I like
I have
everything except for
complaints.
She-Hulk. I like
I have
everything
complaints
except
about
for She-Hulk.
everything. It just
That's
I
the
could
only thing I
have
don't
complaints
like.
and still enjoy something.
See, but I'll
I'm
say,
enjoying
even
it.
though I enjoyed a lot of it, but I've got to admit though, like, the quality of the shows and some of the movies were not as good as what you would
As
see
they've
with
been.
Phase 3,
Yeah.
a Phase 2. Like, even if they're good, they weren't
They
excellent.
weren't on that
like
level.
So
Phase
to
3.
me, Phase 4 was another Phase 1.
Yeah.
I think the reason why Phase 1 movies are seen so highly is just mostly nostalgia. I think they were good movies, but I don't think that they were as great as people remember them to be. I think Phase 4 will be remembered the
That's where
same
we
way.
differ.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. I think
I agree.
phase
No, I
I
completely
think,
agree with Joe.
well, the reason why I say I think Phase 4 is so different than Phase 1. Even though we look at Phase 1 as nostalgia and everything else, everyone came out of Phase 1 falling in love with Iron Man. You had kids with Iron Man shirts on. You had the merchandising. You had so much stuff that was put around. Have you seen a She-Hulk shirt?
No,
No.
but we should
I did.
absolutely see
It was
other
on
stuff.
fire.
I'm sorry.
Have you seen?
There are some
Uh,
memorable characters from
have
Phase
you
4. I'm
seen
sorry.
that-
I
there
have
are.
seen little girls wearing She-Hulk shirts.
But
Loki
not
should be big.
not like the
He's
Iron
saying
Man
it's not
and
like
Not like
it's not
Iron Man,
as
not like Captain
popular as it
America.
was for Phase 1.
But have you been to a school? Little kids have
No, Joe, I
Marvel
can't say I
backpacks
frequent
left and
schools
right.
often. I don't
Like
think
that-
I'd
that's
be
what little
allowed to
kids
go
are wearing.
back to them if I
Well,
frequented
like,
schools with
whenever
little
I see
children
like kids
and
and
this
stuff like
beard.
I have this mandate that doesn't allow me anywhere near schools.
Noah, I think we need to talk
Kid.
about your position on this.
My
panel.
I'm just
Oh
kidding.
my
Huge joke.
Oh my god!
No, we might need to put some clauses
Oh,
in your contract.
Please, no one be trapped in a closet with Noah.
Anyway,
Well,
video is,
well, I do.
video is
so
not.
I do have a question
Video
for
is
you.
not.
In 5 years, which will be better, DC or Marvel? In 5 years,
DC.
In 5 years, probably DC right
Yeah.
now.
I think DC has a better
But
trajectory.
it's good because
from
it's
here.
going to be the new Marvel. That's the problem.
But that's also because
I go
Marvel
Marvel.
has been stumbling and making its own, putting its foot in its mouth.
Joe just likes to
instead
be
of
on the
returning to the quality that
opposition.
we know that they can.
No, Marvel's a machine, and Kevin Feige is a genius, and he will right the ship. He always
just
does.
feel they
Correct it,
but
like,
they're
what's
on
the
a
next
downward
move?
decline, and they need to
And
get
DC
back up.
and DC,
Yeah.
Zaslav, everybody over there has a history of shooting themselves in the foot. No matter who owns it, no matter who runs it, DC just has a perpetual
So you
history
have
of
no
making the
faith
wrong
in them
decisions.
whatsoever.
I do. I think they're gonna make good movies. I just don't think they're gonna be as successful.
I'm
Honestly,
sorry though. I
Marvel-
really don't buy the.
I thought
Iger and
Shazam was
Chapek
one of the better
argument either.
DC movies made, and it.
Oh, I
My-
think that's a whole like. I actually think Chapek screwed up a lot.
Oh, I don't think
No, I'm
Chapek's
not
great.
saying he didn't.
We got
What
new
I'm
Bob
saying
now,
is,
new
I
old
don't
Bob.
think that affects Marvel movies. Iger is who runs Marvel.
Now,
Well, yes and
He
no.
is the creative head of Marvel, so all the stories
But-
have to go through him. So
yes,
he
but what
approved
hap-
You mean
everything
Feige.
that was made. Or Feige,
Yes,
I'm sorry.
but,
I'm
but
sorry,
one
Feige.
thing, one problem too was, yes, you're right, but Chapek actually put people over Feige.
yes.
Before it was Iger, then right under Iger was Feige and Kathleen Kennedy, and those were right underneath. Then
Right.
Chapek comes in and says, "Okay, I'm going to put my buddies, my banker buddies, in charge of Feige and Kennedy." And so that's why you saw such a push for
That's
so
ridiculous.
much shows, so much movies all at once, and so they were spread too thin.
Well, I
That-
also
mean,
think
that's what happened.
Chapek was a sacrificial lamb in some ways, where the company had to make a lot of unpopular decisions during a pandemic, and they were like, "We can put it all on this guy and then bring back old
Yeah,
Bob."
but the problem though with Chapek though, he put himself in a lot of problems too because of the whole Florida deal.
Oh,
He
absolutely.
went after the governor, and the governor was like, "Yeah, you're not going to mess with me. I'm going to throw it back
I
at
don't
you."
know if he went after the governor went after him, but
It was both and they were both going at each other, and so. But the thing was, the governor had the power, Chapek didn't, and so that really put them in a lot of financial problems.
but now the governor's kind of screwed.
Yeah, he lost. They ultimately won that battle versus him. Trust
The
me.
amount of now because they were supposed to be liable for all the upkeep of the area and everything, and now that it's no longer a special zone, Florida has to pay for all of it,
Oh yeah,
and I don't think they were prepared for that.
I think it hurts everybody. I think it was.
Yep.
It was politics, and that was the problem Disney was getting into. Disney started to make politics, and they didn't need to. They don't have to. That was the
You
problem.
don't.
They don't have to. Don't
You make
No, I
enough
agree.
money. Just be Just be Disney and be content with making buttloads of fucking money.
That's it.
Like, just be content being Disney and making money.
Disney's always been political.
Yes, but they were subversive with it. They weren't up front in your face.
But
with
it
their
wasn't as
politics.
wide
They
open
were
as
behind
it
the
is
screen.
now. It's like
Things are changing. Sorry.
Ladies
I
and
mean,
gentlemen, this is not a
unfortunately, I
political show.
agree. But look, at the same time, some of these companies have to sell to everybody in the country. They can't discriminate against people just because the governor wants them to. I'm sorry. So I kind of see it from both sides. I really do.
Both sides. They're in a right now.
It's a shitty place to be in. Don't get me wrong.
Well, everything is in this way.
Yeah.
Everything is so divided right now.
Right.
Just in general, and I mean, every company's in this mess. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
God, but
I think the problem is that people can't allow for things to exist that aren't for them. Like, it's okay to not like something and it just not be for you.
Well, yes, you're right, but at the same time, as a company, they have to make things for everyone because they got to make money. They gotta. I mean,
well, right, but I'm saying people will, like, if you make something that's not for somebody, instead of just accepting that, moving on to the next thing that they make that you might like, people will want to boycott things because they made one thing that they don't like.
I think what's happened.
Well, that's fine, but that's a person saying, I don't like what you made. That's not a company saying we're discriminating or leaving out a certain group of people because these people are crying too much. That to me is completely different.
I agree.
But I think it all goes down to where are you following the money? Are you following trying to appease everyone? That's where I think companies are starting to.
But if companies just run neutral, they wouldn't have these issues, in my opinion.
Exactly, but that's the problem.
100%.
I don't think there's a neutral anymore. I don't actually.
Oh, there isn't. Oh, no, there isn't. No,
because every company has to take a stance at this point. And at this day and age, every company needs to take a stance, whether they want to or not, just to prove on some kind of level that they've taken a stance in whatever political agenda is going on in that.
Well, and let's be realistic. A lot of these studios. They made a lot of money making propaganda videos for both sides and a lot of wars.
Yep.
So
sure.
So we are a family show that we don't deal with politics often, but we will bash Vin Diesel, the Flash, and everything.
I just want to say drugs are bad, okay?
Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad, kids.
Jesus Christ.
Stay in school.
Stay in school, kids. Drugs are just bad, okay?
Just Captain America pops on the screen. So you're in detention.
So back to DC. I got a question.
Yeah,
Is Blue Beetle part of the new DC?
I think so.
I hope so, man.
I hope so.
I hope Booster Gold is too.
That's what I was. That's what I was hearing.
Booster Gold is for sure.
The kid that they got to play him. What's his name?
Manuel.
From
Cobra Kai.
Oh,
yeah,
amazing! I can't.
And this is the last season of Cobra Kai, just by coincidence. Just so y'all know, they stole
so
Cholo.
I feel like
they stole him. DC stole
I feel like
it was always
they had to end Cobra.
He's
I
gonna
don't know if you know this about
Netflix,
Netflix, but they don't like when shows go on for too long, so they have to pay people.
No, I'm not mad. No, I'm really not mad about it.
I'm actually happy. It's strange to say I think Cobra Kai is one of my favorite shows. I'm happy it's ending for the right reasons.
I like when shows
I think it's
end
actually the
on their
perfect
own
time to
terms.
end it. Yeah, I think it's the perfect time. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Like I love Supernatural, but if it would have ended when it was supposed to end, it would have been such a more complete story.
100%, Joe. 100% fucking percent.
You know what's interesting?
Luke.
Yeah.
Do you feel like? Well, I'll start with Luke, and then I guess we can go around. Do you feel like Marvel should do, like, at least kind of try something a little different and kind of do what I guess DC's somewhat doing, and do, like, instead of just having the whole shared universe, could we get Elseworld stories from Marvel too? Do you feel like they should go that route at some point?
We're technically getting some Elseworld when it came to Werewolf by Night, and everyone really loved it. I think you can tell stories within the universe that it does feel Elseworld, that does feel separate. I think you can. I think you have to be wise with it, but I think you need to have both. And I think you can have the stories that are separate, that aren't connected to everything, that, or at the same time try and start building things. Like the
No,
problem
but
is,
don't you think Werewolf by Night will then tie in with Blade, Midnight Suns, all that
At
stuff?
some point, I'm sure.
maybe down the
but-
road, but the way they set it up, they just
Man
kind of
thing, right? We're getting man
yeah.
thing.
They
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean,
open. It was kind of open and closed. Like if they want to in the future, they can. But the Elseworld
Mhm.
stuff, I think, and I'm afraid for DC on Elseworld. I think that can actually become a negative in the long run because you're
How
going to
so?
have. Well, you got literally 2 Batman movies coming out within a 2-year time span with 2 different actors playing the character. One's
True.
an older version, one's younger. That my dad is not going to have any idea why in the world is there 2 Batmans. Why in the world, like, where's, oh, am I going to go watch Robert Pattinson? No, it's this guy. What? Wait, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
what universe?
like
What's
what
going
happened? Yeah.
on? Elseworlds get
That's why I don't think they're going to
confusing.
do all those Spider-Man movies that they were saying, like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Well,
might get their
I
own,
don't
but
think
it's
they're
kinda
ever gonna
like-
do that.
Actually, the Spider-Man movies could have worked. They're late. They can't do it now, but that could have worked because they had already built in their audience through Spider-Man No Way Home, showing all 3 Spider-Man on screen together. That means it took away all confusion. So you don't have any confusion. Oh, who's this guy? Who's that guy? It's like, no, we all know them. We've seen them in the past. We watched their movies in the past, so we know. Right now, you've got to introduce a brand spanking new Batman and Gotham and everything, and Rogues Gallery and everything else.
And
Plus
explain
you're-
why we have 2 different worlds of it, 2 different versions of it.
Exactly.
And this brings me to what I think Marvel's doing. I think they're gonna have 3 separate storylines. Like you're gonna have the cosmic one, you're gonna have the magic one, then you're gonna have like the dark storyline, which is gonna be where you're Werewolf by Night, your Blades. Where I think they're gonna have more R-rated projects, and I think that they're only gonna intercede during like team up movies and such, and that dark storyline will mostly stay isolated up until very specific points and events. But that way they can get away with a lot of the more bloody stuff without tampering with their image.
Personally, I think one problem they're having, Marvel, is I think they're telling the overarching story too much. I think they're trying to lead to the multiverse story.
Well, that's the thing. They're
with
resetting
Kang.
everything up now.
That's a good
That's what I
point.
was saying. It's very phase one-y in the fact that they're building a world again. They're building a whole new.
I think they're building the too many worlds.
But at least Phase 1 did it much
They're
better.
building
as far as the
secret.
seeds being
They're
planted.
building up for Secret Wars.
Right.
I mean, they've been saying this for years. That's why whenever people are talking about Marvel and they're like, "I have no idea what they're doing," I'm like, "They've been telling us. They've literally told us for years
Right,
now
like
what
I
they're doing."
literally believe that some of these
So I don't
characters
understand why it's
that
such
we're
a big
seeing are
secret.
already replaced.
Well, I think it's because
I think they are.
it's not that they're not telling you. It's because they're showing so many. Because you talked about how there's a dark side of the Marvel, the magic side, the cosmic side. There's the grounded side with Spider-Man, that world. So you have all these different characters and worlds, which is fine. I actually like that. But the problem is there's been so many different worlds that they're building. Like, I think it can confuse audiences.
Confused, yeah.
Because, like, do you remember the fact that we've already been introduced to Blade through the Eternals? That's 2 different worlds being connected that no one really even knew about.
I mean, it's fair. Like I said, I just don't think we're going to get what we think we're going to get. I just don't. Not now. I think they were setting up for something bigger, and then they got scared. I think they got scared. I really think they got scared.
After Ant-Man, no, they haven't. I think they're going huge because they set up a lot with Ant-Man's in credits.
I haven't seen it, so yeah, no, that's fair. I haven't seen that yet, so that's fair. I don't know. It just feels like because even Feige said that they want to pull back now. He said recently too something like what was it? What exactly did he say? That he said there's too much content out there or something, too much Marvel content out, and that they want to pull back.
Well, I mean, that's not a bad thing. I think that they're just going to spread it out. I think you're going to push your Avenger movies out at least another year or two. I think they're going to be pushed. They
Oh, you
just
think they're gonna get
pushed.
pushed?
Oh yeah, they
Oh.
already pushed the Marvels. They did that for November.
Yeah, I saw
It was
that,
going to come
yep.
out in January. So I think you're
No,
going to push out the
November 10th.
November. Yeah. So
November
that's why I
10th,
say
yeah.
they'll push the Avenger movies. I guarantee it because they want to spread things out a little bit more, so the phase can be a little bit longer, so that it's not as crammed because they crammed so much last year.
I think that we're getting. I think we could possibly because we still don't know where, what
We don't know where any of the shows
Vision.
are fitting
We
in.
don't know where White Vision is.
Mm-mm.
We have
Don't
no
know anything
idea.
there. We don't know
West
if
Coast Avengers, maybe.
is
We
Wanda
don't
still
know.
alive? She's still dead.
Yes. No, Wanda's coming back for sure.
Maybe we'll see because we might not get our Wanda, but we might get a Wanda.
Yeah, we'll get a version.
They
of Wanda,
love
probably.
her. They love
Yeah.
that actress too much not to bring
She
her
makes
back.
Right.
them way too much money. Yeah.
Or could even be a completely different character. But I think we'll get another Wanda.
Well, you never saw her die. I mean, never. I mean,
Right, but I mean, she got,
rule of thumb.
Is
If you
Is there a way that she switched with her other self?
there's a
While
thousand
she
ways
was
she could have
underneath the rubble?
survived.
Yeah, I
real
mean
quick?
it's there's always a rule in movies. If you don't see the character die,
Yep.
they're not dead.
Especially at Marvel.
Oh yeah, always
Especially
the
in
rule.
Marvel.
Even when they do die, like Coulson, you bring
Right.
it back.
Yep, exactly.
And she is like a supreme magic being who's a Nexus being.
Yeah.
She could cast a bubble.
They were going to bring her.
Like-
I think they were bringing her
That
back.
bitch
for
she
Agatha.
lifted a city up in the air and
Yeah.
fucking destroyed it. I think
Not
she-
much
No,
is
it
taking
was-
her out.
Professor X put a thought bubble around her so she couldn't be crushed. That's what happened. So
Maybe.
she couldn't be crushed, and then
Or maybe Magneto
he brought
bent the
her out
elements
once everybody
in the-
disappeared.
He bent the
knows?
iron in the stone.
Who knows what's gonna happen?
In Secret Wars, Vin Diesel as the
Her kid-
pacifier will enter the arena.
I think the next time
Stop
we
it.
see, I think we
Stop
get
it right
Robert
now,
Downey
sir.
Jr. back, and the next time we see him, he's president in one of the universes.
We're gonna get Robert Downey
I
Sr.
think we finally get Iron Man president.
I will say, you know what? I think there's two projects coming up when you're going to get the Marvel fans back. I think there's two massive projects you're going to start getting them back. You've got some great projects coming up. You got the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that will bring your audience back because
Sure.
Absolutely.
Gunn really took a lot of care into that one, and you can
Yeah.
tell. And Gunn had a lot of heart in that one. And the second one will be Deadpool. Deadpool is about they're giving Ryan Reynolds so much freedom, and you can tell with the marketing. You can tell that they're giving the love for that franchise. I think it's going to be incredible.
What are your-
See, the ones I'm looking forward to are Armor Wars,
I am looking
and Secret
forward to that.
Wars. I think that those are gonna be the
Yeah.
two that are gonna really shake things up.
Yep, they're going to be the next
Our-
Loki level storytelling shows.
Well, Loki
Yes.
too.
Oh, Loki's going to be so good. I think. I think
Loki is
Secret
the key
Invasion's
to the
gonna be
last
great.
phase. Loki is the key to the last phase, in my opinion.
Who
Without
would
Loki-
have ever believed Loki would be the show that connects?
Everyone's
everything?
talking about. Yeah.
Kelsey
Yeah.
Kirkland.
I mean, it's hard not to be a Tom. What's his last name?
Oh,
Hiddleston
he's,
fan.
Hiddleston.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I mean, he's such a good actor, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Just a good dude.
he
I
needs
mean,
to play young
everyone loves him.
Palpatine while he's still young.
So do you Luke, do you think DC overtakes Marvel in the next couple years unless they turn it around with their big films?
It all goes down to Superman. If they give
Yep.
us a great Superman, yes. If they don't, then no. It
I
all
think
goes
you're
down
100%
to that Superman.
on. Yep. I
Who
think you're
could you see
100%
them
right.
casting as Superman that you would be okay with?
I've heard a few different ones. I would go with a no name. I would go with just someone newer. I think you've got to build because you've got to build
Yeah.
off of a younger name. I would go with maybe someone off of maybe like a teen show or something off Netflix or something where it's a well-known enough, but not like a superstar.
Oh, I have an idea.
I got a plan. We get a young black lesbian female
Oh my
Superman,
Why?
and then
Yeah, y'all do know what the
So Corinne
original.
Jean Pierre.
or
What
just
is-
a young black
For what
gay
reason?
Superman,
Just to do it?
Yeah,
gay
y'all do-
Superman, and Lois Lane becomes Lois Lane.
Y'all do know
Oh
what
my
the original
God.
plan was for DC before.
Yes,
Michael B.
to
Jordan.
have a black
Flashpoint.
Superman.
Well,
Michael
not
B.
just that.
Jordan.
What they were setting up with Flashpoint was after Flashpoint, your main trinity was Supergirl was going to be replacing Superman, Batgirl was going to be replacing Batman. You were going to have Michael Keaton being the mentor for Batgirl, but basically you were going to get rid of Affleck altogether, and the trinity was going to be Wonder Woman, Supergirl, and Batgirl. They got rid of Batgirl because there's no way they could fix that movie from not like it was going to mess up their universe that they were trying to build. They had to kill
I'm
it.
so glad they did not go forward with that.
Oh, it would have been. I think
Horrible.
not story. I don't know what the story would have been, but I know what the fan reaction would have been. It would have been. I'm sorry, but
I'm not saying it could have been good. I just don't
It's
know.
pushing. It's pushing too hard. It's going too hard, too quickly.
My question always is: are you doing it for an actual reason, or just to do it because you want to look like the cool hip studio? Do you know what I mean? Is there an actual reason you're doing that, or is it just because you're trying to pander? Do you know what I mean? Make money.
That was all pandering. I mean, that's
what I mean, right?
But that's why Batgirl was made. I mean, look at and I've heard so many people not like the show, but look at Batwoman, season 2. They picked an entirely new actress just to pander. That show was bad. Season 2 was really bad.
I like the dude that plays him in Superman and Lois. I think
love
Tyler Hoechlin.
Yeah. So
that
good.
dude is great as Superman. He is a great Superman.
So that show, but you know why that show works so well is because they respect the character. They give you the character that you love, and he's a good guy.
The reason it works so well
and it's a mature
about
version
family.
of Smallville.
Just like the Fast franchise.
It's basically a continuation, a more mature version of Smallville.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But they respect the character and they love the character, and you can tell in the writing. And I think that's what people have been wanting is just to.
And we got John Henry. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't want John Henry? Dude?
John Henry was so good. But
So
that's the
good.
thing.
And that reveal was so good. The Bizarro reveal was so good.
Oh, the Bizarro.
I love how they did Bizarro.
Yeah.
That was so smart. And then
They
this season we're
subverted
getting
things.
Lex.
Yes. Dude, I can't
Oh, that
wait.
show.
I love his daughter too. John Henry's daughter is great in that show too, man.
But
She's
you know,
really good.
how we're reacting to that show is what people want. People are wanting the characters they love, that they just want to just look up to. People want a hero. I think we just have deconstructed and built and broken down so many characters that people are like, we just want a simple story where we can like the character we're watching on screen. I think that's what we're missing.
Yeah.
That's why Top Gun Maverick killed, because it was a simple story that it felt like an older style story that we could all relate to, that we could all look up to, and it was fun. It didn't have a deeper meaning. It was just fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I agree 100%. For me, it's the best film of last year. It's the best movie I saw last year.
I hope it gets the Oscar.
Everything,
will?
everywhere, all at once.
It's
And
not
again,
going to
look,
get the
I
Oscar,
get it.
but
I get
want it.
But dude, the way that movie is just awesome feeling from beginning to end. Top Gun Maverick just feels so good from beginning to end.
It feels different.
And
It
so
feels
is
so
everything
different.
everywhere.
Yeah, and it's not just a cheesy ripoff of the first one, even though there's a lot of stuff from the first one in it. But it's not just a cheap ripoff. There really is a lot of heart in this movie. It's a lot of story. I mean, they really told a really good movie.
We need to discuss how this movie has not reached the best picture list.
It is.
It's on the best animated
is.
feature list,
Oh,
but it's not on the best picture list. You know it's coming. I'm gonna say it. It's Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
oh,
We are
so
not-
good. Such a
we're
good
not
movie.
talking
Such a
about
good
the
movie.
movie
All right,
anymore.
I think it's been almost an hour and a
We're
half.
not talking about Puss in Boots again.
Puss in Boots.
I think it's about
okay.
time
Puss in
to,
Boots and Minions.
forever.
Oh my God!
Noah
you got
will
Noah
die
back.
on the Minions.
You got Noah back on Minions.
It was
See, look.
such a good movie.
You
See what we
mentioned
did? See
animated
what we
stuff,
did
and
here?
Noah came out of the woodworks like Minions. Me.
I know, right?
Vinland Saga, Puss in Boots.
Banana.
Oh, Puss in
Oh,
Boots.
another
Banana
hill I will
Wood.
die on is All Is Quiet on the Eastern Front.
I'm not gonna die on a hill. I'm gonna
I'm
die in
never
a
gonna die
bed,
on a
nice
hill
and
either, yeah.
comfortable.
That was such a good
I'm
movie.
sorry, dude. I've seen so many war
You know
movies.
what's on
The
hills?
last thing I want to
Bears.
see is another freaking war. I'm sorry. I am so tapped out of war movies. I'm so tapped out.
What? I can always
Yeah.
appreciate
I can always
1917
do a
is
good
Dude,
great
the
war
perfect
movie.
war movie has already been made. Well,
1917.
Two of them. No.
Gritty realism is all great and everything
Are you
when
gonna
life
say
is
the Red
happy,
Dawn?
but when life is miserable, what movies get you? But We Were
That's
Soldiers
true.
was a fantastic war film.
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan
Good Morning Vietnam.
and Inglourious Bastards is the two
And
greatest war
1917.
movies ever made. They just are.
I don't know about
And
that.
It's just a
1917.
fact. It's a fact of
I don't know
life.
about that.
Anyways,
It's a fact
how
of
many
life, sir.
awards do
I
you
don't know
think
about that one,
the
Don.
newest Avatar movie cleans up this year?
And you can
No,
put Apocalypse
no,
Now
it
in there
doesn't.
too if
I
you
don't
want.
want it to. It was visually stunning, but the fucking storyline
Tropic Thunder.
was fucking ass.
Tropic
You
Thunder's
don't
great.
want it to.
Honestly,
you don't
I
want
really
it to,
like
but it
Avatar. I
is.
thought it was really. Oh,
My problem with the
have-
Avatar is that it's the exact same. Like you have the same villain. They're doing the exact same thing with just
Exact
more
same movie.
technology. And like I said, the only thing that the world has done better is the effects. Like the effects are still amazing. The water, the way that they have with the water and shit, it was great. But the movie with the plot line was the same. Why does the kid save the bad guy after and then doesn't like save him fully? Like what? It makes no sense. No sense.
I
I'm
understood
sorry.
that. I actually understood that part. I thought that you had already shown where his quote unquote dad had already saved him from the mom, and so I felt like there was this sense of loyalty there that he had already been building. He didn't like the guy, but I think there was a building there. I was gonna ask y'all, have y'all watched any 4DX movie yet?
Of what?
No.
4DX. I went and watched Avatar in 4DX. Never do
heard
that.
that was crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't
Oh
do. I
my
can't do roller
gosh.
coasters, so there's no way I'd be able to do that.
I don't think we have that here.
I was so sore afterwards. Like
Oh, I
it
bet.
beat you up.
Oh, I've done that at one of the parks back in the day.
But it was a full 3-hour movie. All like you're flying through the air. When
Yeah.
people
Doesn't
get
Regal have
stabbed,
those?
you feel stabbed. I mean, it was.
Well,
it
that's
was
any good movie does that.
no. I'm saying like when the arrow goes through someone, you
1970.
literally feel something stab you in the back,
the fuck?
like feeling it, and then you'd have rain coming down on you.
Don't go
It's
see
wild.
Rocky. You'll be fucking knocked out.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh,
Don't go see
I feel
Creed
it.
3. Don't see Creed 3 with 40X.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, it would. And honestly,
Michael
they
B.
do
Jordan
it.
just goes down the road, just
Wow,
punching
wow.
people in the face.
Just
The
body
ushers
shot.
get
Oh,
paid
my
extra to
kidneys.
stand there.
Yeah.
If you see Creed 3 and 40X, your face will look like Will Smith and Hitch after he got that allergic.
Oh my God.
Oh, I thought you were
Oh my
going
God,
another
dude.
route.
What do you guys think about I Am Legend?
I thought you were gonna say
know
what's his name? What Will Smith did
To Chris Rock?
God, not
Yeah,
Chris
Chris
Rock.
Rock.
Chris
yeah.
Rock.
Noah brought up a good point. Just to kind of
Speaking of Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan, what do you guys think of I Am Legend 2?
I don't like it.
I love it.
why not?
Why?
Why? I just like the
Why?
way the original ended. It was
No,
that, to me,
no,
was
I
perfect.
like the
It's the alternate ending. The
I
alternate
like the
ending
alternate
is-
ending
alternate
way
ending
better
better.
than the original.
Yeah, the
ending.
alternate ending's way better.
I
Oh,
like
yeah.
the alternate. Look, I prefer the. I didn't think it was a movie
All right.
You-
Well,
that needed a sequel. To me.
I agree.
then that's fine, and you can still watch
on
the
that
original.
I'm a
Watch the original, and then you stop.
know?
That's just how it ended for you.
I
Don't
agree.
want
I'd
sequel.
probably
Give it
still-
to us, Josh. Tell us why you like it. Tell us why you love this movie.
Okay. Okay. Let's put it like this. I feel like
I'm joking.
if anything. No, I know, but it's kind of like I know if anything, if you're gonna go with, I just feel like if they were gonna do that, I mean, obviously they just decided it years later, then that should just been your original ending, and you just didn't do
I
do
will
it for
say
as long
this:
as
there
you
will
did,
probably be a
and
lot
they-
of people could. there would be a lot of people confused because
There's
they're
gonna be
going with the
tons of
alternate ending
people
over the
confused because
And then
original.
exactly,
I
a lot
agree
of
with
people
that.
don't
I will
know
agree
about
with you
the
there.
Honestly, people won't be confused because half the people don't remember that movie.
That's fair too.
It's been a very long
That's
time.
fair.
from
I
that
watch that
movie.
movie,
which is sad. It's a
often.
great movie. I mean,
I watch that movie often. It's a great movie.
It's
You know what
so
movie
good.
I?
No, it's a good movie. It's a great movie.
You know-
It really is.
You know what movie I love that I wish got more love when it came out, but
Hancock.
I have become. Well, yes,
Hancock
I
is
actually
a
loved
good
Hancock.
movie.
Speed Racer.
Yes,
Dude,
I
Speed Racer
agree.
was awesome.
I completely
was
agree.
so-
Speed
It was
Racer-
ahead of its time.
So
Yeah.
it was.
100%. Speed Racer needed.
That's a
so
Taika
much
Waititi
more,
movie,
like,
right?
another
Isn't that
sequel.
Taika
No,
Waititi?
no, that was the Wachowskis.
Is that who it was? Okay.
One of
Yeah.
them, right?
I think it was
Or
both
was it
of them.
both?
It was both of
Laurie.
them.
No, but those
No, I
movies,
think he's
that
right. I
movie
think it was
was
Laurie.
amazing.
Or it's the one with the L name. They both have an L name, I think, actually.
I just know one. I
Laura
know
or Lori, something like that, I think.
at least
their
one
name.
of the Wachowskis. They did that one.
Okay.
And that movie
Dude,
was
it's fun.
so
It's a fun
so
movie.
good.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
Oh, it
I
was
want to
both of
see a
them, I
sequel
guess.
so badly. I think
That,
it would
like-
do so good.
The whole
Mhm.
movie, the animation was amazing in it. Like everything about it was
Yeah.
freaking great.
I love the cartoon too.
Well, it
Trying to
felt
tell
like a
us something,
cartoon.
Josh?
Oh,
No,
this is
no,
more
no. I
like-
just was.
It's because
flexing the pinky.
I didn't know if you were trying to let us know something. I didn't.
No, no, no.
Mm.
It's a little personal, Josh. You don't need to share that with us.
Hey, I just wanted to flex my freaking minion, man.
That's what you call it?
Flex your
Don't be
minion.
doing that on our
What?
channel. We are going to get put down.
Whoa, sir.
All right.
That's
Listen,
not the kind of channel we are.
first we're talking about being banned from elementary schools, and now
I
we're
know, right?
showing
What's
things.
going on?
We're
Can
showing
we
minions.
clean this up just a little bit, please?
Yeah, all right. Let's bring back in the focus, guys. Any other
So
main
200
points?
subscribers, guys.
Yeah.
200 subscribers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Any
Yeah,
fantastic
thank you all.
forecasting ideas?
End of the
Fantastic
day,
Four casting ideas? Of course
Yeah,
I do.
Fantastic Four.
Let's go with 4 Skarsgård since they're in literally everything.
Why not? At this point, why not?
I think I'm hoping for Penn Bagley. I really want Penn Bagley.
I'm not against that. I'm really not against that.
After I watched him, first place I watched him, I actually watched Gilmore Girls, and not Gilmore Girls,
Gossip Girl.
Gossip Girl. He was actually
What's up, Taco?
incredible in that show.
Taco,
Taco.
taco.
Paco.
It's raining tacos out of the sky.
But I think he could play that like extremely intelligent guy with a darkness behind him. Because that was the thing with Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic was always the smartest guy in the room, but he always had a bit of a dark feeling around him. He always pushed his family away because he was so focused on
Science.
the science. And I mean
That's
that's
right,
where
but do
I
you not think that's kind of too similar to Iron Man's story
not at all.
in the
I totally
MCU? They kind of really borrowed a lot of that Reed
I
I
Richards.
always thought there were similarities
people
between
away.
the two.
There's similarities. Reed was never a drunk. Iron Man was
But
drunk.
I just mean in the way that they framed him in his relation to everybody else in his life, finding reasons to push people away so that they won't get hurt. And
Well, but the difference is like Iron Man's whole idea was to build a shield. Mr. Fantastic's idea is for adventure and discovery. So he would have
it
been the first
depends.
person. Well, like he would have been the first one to. He wouldn't have needed encouragement to look into time travel. He would have just done it like 2 years before because he would have just that he would have just wanted to look into
even
it.
thinking of the consequences.
Yeah, he just would dive into it. He didn't worry about
Well, we
other
don't-
people.
That all depends on how they frame it in relation to the MCU versus the comics. Because if they go with the framework they set up in Multiverse of Madness, he's more altruistic than
But that's
his-
that
his
version.
go. Right. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. We don't know what we're going to get.
What version we'll get? Yeah.
We don't know
think
the
you're
stories they're going to tell.
I think you're getting the Family Man version. I think that's what Feige has been really hammering in. It's the
Okay.
first family. It's going to be.
Then
It's gonna
Kevin
go back to that
Costner.
Wow.
Reed Richards and
The Family Guy.
Oh my
personally,
God.
I do not want.
Nick Cage.
the actor who played
Wow.
Power Rand.
We're gonna get him.
How do you feel about Jennifer Lawrence as
You mean-
Sue Storm?
Adam Driver.
I don't want it.
No.
I don't want
I
it.
want him
Not
as
Jennifer
Doom.
Lawrence.
Let's give Jennifer Lawrence another superhero franchise that she can give up on halfway through. How about no?
Let's make her.
Very good.
Let's make her
tacos.
Doom
Excellent pun.
because she destroys everything.
I
Why don't they
want
do Adam
actors and
Driver as
actresses
Dr.
that get excited for the role. That's why I was really hoping for Krasinski. I really wanted
Okay.
Krasinski.
A lot of
I
people
wanted
like
I
him so
still
bad.
like him as Mr. Fantastic.
I still think he's the
I don't
best
think,
pick.
Yeah,
Multiverse
100%.
of Madness was fair and showing enough. Like we only got a snippet. We didn't really
I
get
think-
to see the whole thing. Like
I personally think that movie's underrated. I really do.
Multiverse of Madness?
I think that
Yeah.
I did not like Multiverse of Madness just because it was
It felt campy.
the Illuminati stuff was just kind of just thrown in there with no
Yeah, it was
real
kind of
meaning.
forced. I thought.
Well, I
And-
think that is more of a foreshadowing kind of like I think
Yeah.
that was another Easter egg that they're planting on the pathway to all of this becoming a reality.
But how many
But,
Easter eggs do we
again,
have to
this
plant
is-
to sacrifice just a good movie being a good movie?
Oh,
you know?
Right.
Also,
and
I
like I
think
said, I
one-
enjoy the movies, but I understand that why people don't. But I think that people aren't giving enough credit to the fact that they are resetting up now three separate, in my mind at least,
Mhm.
three separate worlds.
I
Well,
think at
I
this
think-
point it's gotten confusing though, is the problem.
Well, one problem too I had with Multiverse of Madness, and I think this is a problem with having the TV show of WandaVision and then going into the Multiverse of Madness. Wanda's character is fundamentally different from WandaVision to Multiverse of Madness. In WandaVision, you have a character who is in depression, who has just went through a very hardship, and she had to learn from that at the end of the show. And so then she's reading from the book because she believes that her children in another universe is in danger because they're yelling for her help, like calling for their help.
Well,
when
she's
you get
reading
to
from the
multi-
book because
But that
she's
book also
power
corrupts
hungry.
you.
Yes, but the difference was the reasoning at the end of WandaVision was basically the children were calling out to her for help. But in Multiverse of Madness, it was no, she just wanted to take the children and just take them away. But the
she wanted
reason why it was
save
so different was the writers for Multiverse of Madness and the writers for WandaVision, they didn't talk to each other, and the writers for Multiverse of Madness never watched WandaVision, so they
But-
didn't actually care where.
But also,
Wanda was.
if you're depressed, you're angry, you have a magic book that corrupts your soul, and you just spend like a year sitting in or however long sitting in the woods alone,
Mhm.
just fucking split in two,
Yep.
in demon state. We'll call it demon face.
I don't necessarily think they were yelling for help. I know they say help, but I think that's just to symbolize that she's hearing them, that she knows that they're out there somewhere. I don't
Yes,
really think
yelling.
that's literally them saying,
And I think she could hear
"Come help
them.
me."
I think she hears like
wouldn't
every
know
version of
her.
them in her head. I think it's
They
driving
Yeah,
wouldn't
her.
but like
know
this-
her in that other world. Even if they were, even if they were yelling for help, it wouldn't be her that they were specifically yelling help to. So, that
Right,
part of it, I
because
don't think
because she's
really
a
matters.
Nexus being, I believe that she, especially when she's sleeping, they showed this, that she like sees as these other
Mhm.
versions of herself,
Mhm.
which is problematic when you're kind of
Yeah, what
going
do they call
crazy
it,
and
like a
you're
night
missing
crawler
people.
or night walker or something.
But that's why.
No, that's Blade.
I guess
No, I know
because I
that,
felt like with WandaVision, you saw a character who actually, by the end of the show, she grows and learns from her mistakes. She did somewhat. There was a bit of a growth of learning, but that's why I say I think
Dude, you don't go lock yourself in a cabin because you're mentally stable again. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
you don't go lock yourself in a cabin in the middle of nowhere reading the Dark Souls book because you figured it all out. She's still gone by the end of that show, in my opinion. She has lost it. At that
I
point,
don't
she's
know.
lost it even more because now not only did she had her kids in that world, but she had to realize that world was fake, and now she doesn't have her kids. And Vision left her. Yeah, she's way worse off than she was before WandaVision started.
And she just found
In
out
my
that she's
opinion.
some prophesized evil, and she's supposed to be the one who like
I think it
destroys.
makes total sense where she's at when we meet her in that she is just like, yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let's go.
I think it could have
Let's
been
kill
done better.
everybody. Oh, it could have
but-
been done better, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna bring something else up just because I heard this rumor. Have y'all heard the rumor that they might switch up Ezra with Grant Gustin?
I was talking about that earlier. I hope they do. But
Okay.
Yeah, I love
I
Grant
would-
Gustin.
I would be okay if they did it. Don't bring Iris with them.
Yeah,
But
Don't-
speaking of,
don't
Grant
bring
Gustin
Candace
would
Patton.
make a decent Mr. Fantastic too.
yeah.
He would, but I like him too much as Flash.
Well, yeah, but the show's ending, so if he's not becoming the Flash in the movies,
No, 100%.
You're not gonna get him as
Yes,
the
but
Flash.
I would,
Gone, yeah,
I would
right,
love
he's
for him to
gone.
become. That's what I'm saying.
Brandon
I'd much
Routh
rather
would
play.
also make a decent Mr. Fantastic.
That's another thing. What do you guys think Grant Gustin does after the Flash?
Honestly, I think he takes a break.
You do?
I think he takes a
Okay.
break. Remember, he's been
He'll
on
probably sing.
Flash for 7 years.
He's
And
gonna be on the
you're
Masked
probably right.
Singer.
He might go Broadway. He'll probably go
Yeah.
Broadway. Because remember, got his start on Glee.
On
That's what
Broadway,
he got started
yeah.
on.
Oh, okay.
Him and
Darren-
Melissa Benoit.
Yeah.
Melissa
Benoit.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And Darren Cross, who was on Glee, he's more on Broadway now, singing more. He actually showed up on the
Darren
first
Cross?
episode. Not Darren Cross.
I was like, wait a minute, Modoc? What the hell?
Man, what is his name? Man, what is
When are we getting the Avengers
Darren
musical?
Criss.
Oh,
I
it's
knew-
very close.
Darren Criss.
When are we
That
getting
was
the
close.
Avengers musical?
I was like, wait a minute.
Do we
But
know when that's actually
why I say I
happening?
think-
When what's
what,
happening?
The Avengers music.
The Avengers musical, yeah, from Hawkeye. They've actually made the musical.
We
for that.
can do this.
Well, they
all
did that at
day.
they did at D23. They performed at D23.
Oh, it's not coming out. I thought it was actually coming out.
No, they just performed it at
Oh.
D23.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, but I think
Those are
Grant
bars.
Gustin, I think
love
Grant
that.
Gustin would be a good Flash in the movies, but I don't think they should bring him in. I
Yeah.
think they need to start fresh.
Okay.
But I do think they need a Flash. I really
I
do.
feel like
Oh,
if they
yeah.
do bring him
Yeah,
in, this is obviously Flashpoint is the perfect time because we've already seen Ezra Miller in the Flash series.
Yeah.
So I think it wouldn't be too far fetched to bring him. If not, we might even get a cameo from him in this movie.
Isn't there something in New 52 that they could do with him from New? Wasn't there a Flash story from New 52 that they played with like him and who he was or something? Or there's a different type of Flash or a different.
Are you talking
Flash?
about
Wally
Salvatore
West?
or Wally West?
Well, they also did Flashpoint.
I'd
where
see. Maybe I'm
he
just
didn't
thinking
have
of something
powers
else.
in the
Then I
Flashpoint
might be thinking of
universe.
something completely else. Then I thought it was New 52. They did
I
that.
mean, there's multiple different Flashes. I mean, you have Wally West.
Yeah.
you had- I will say
Jay
what-
Garrick.
It might not be a bad idea to just skip Barry altogether in this new universe and just dive into Wally.
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I would
they-
like.
You definitely could. It would be a nice transition, and it would also kind of give it a new face. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you introduce Kid Flash, it would be able to bring in a younger actor and give it some longevity to it.
Yeah,
Maybe
but I'd
start the
rather
Young
see.
Justice in live action.
I would rather them do a really young Flash and keep Barry, and have him mentor a younger Flash. Not maybe Ezra as Barry. Hopefully not. But I would like to have them have both. I don't want there just to be a Kid Flash, and that just to be the end of the Barry Allen stories.
Well,
Because then you don't get.
I don't think it'll be the end,
What-
but I think it'll be just the little break from it, if
Well-
you would say.
Well, he
let
could go
me ask you-
missing or something. That'd be
Well,
fine.
let me ask you this though: the Justice League animated show. Did you ever have a problem with that not being Barry? That was Wally.
Which
And
I didn't watch it.
The original Justice League animated show from
From the
Bruce Tim-
70s?
No, from
No,
the
from the 90s.
Yeah,
yeah.
from the 90s.
Yeah, 90s.
Didn't
Right.
watch it.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
for a
that
while,
was-
really?
that
But,
was-
it's not, but my problem is not them doing Wally. My problem is them not doing the Barry storylines, like Bart Allen coming from the future, like the Tornado Twins, like all of those storylines that they would have to cut if Barry's not involved. I don't want to lose all of
I don't
that
think
this
we'd have
early
to
in the
cut it.
process.
I feel like we just have to have a different way to bring them in.
So, if,
I
like
mean,
I
we've
said, if
had-
Barry Allen disappears, but if Barry Allen's gone, and never has kids in the world, in the universe, then he's not going to have descendants from the future.
Well,
And then there is no Reverse
I-
Flash, and then there was no Flash to begin with, and then it's a whole.
well, no, it's not saying that because like obviously if Flash is going to if the Flash is the reason this reset is starting, Flash is going to it's going to happen where I feel like he will just disappear. We'll probably
That would be
they'll make it
ideal.
seem like he's dead, but I guarantee you he won't be dead. There'll
That
be
was supposed to be the plot line in the Flash TV show. Was that at a certain point he was supposed to just vanish and nobody knew where he went?
Well,
Oh,
I
that
think
did
it shows
happen
up in the
in
future.
I was gonna say that did happen, but it was more of him
Done
trying
badly?
to prevent it.
No, they made it Jay Garrett disappear instead.
Yeah.
and then brought him back.
Right. But that's what.
That
But in,
show just
in the
went off the
comics,
rails.
in the comics, he teleports to the future, and that's where the whole Reverse Flash and yada yada yada, and it's all
Well, let me ask
self-fulfilling
y'all-
prophecy.
Let me ask y'all this: do y'all wish that instead of DC, this seems it seems like we're getting a soft reboot, not a hard reboot. Would y'all rather a hard reboot, new universe, new characters, everything, or do y'all like this soft reboot where we kind of can pick and choose what we like and don't like?
To be honest, I think a hard reboot. Like a hard reboot would have been the best.
You don't always have to fuck around. Sometimes it's not right to do.
I do think that it would have just been better for
Give him some
all the
smoke,
characters and the
Christine.
confusion to just hard reboot it.
I'm okay with the soft because like we kind of know the stories of the big three. You know, of
Well, but
Superman,
you're
Batman, and
still-
the Flash.
You're still bringing the big three back with. You're getting a new Superman. You're getting a new Batman. I don't like. Do you bring back Gal or do you get a new Gal?
I don't
love
think Gal's
Gal.
coming back.
I think you get a new
I
Gal.
do.
Yeah,
I
they'll
do,
probably get a new
because
one, but I loved her Wonder
James
Woman.
Gunn
I think you'll
said
get a
it's wide
younger.
open. It's wide open for them to come back right now.
Yeah,
Except
think
he already
Gal's
said
the-
that there's no way that Cavill's coming back.
Cavill's done.
I'm
Affleck's
okay with
done.
Cavill being gone for the reasons that he's gone. I am excited for his Warhammer stuff that is coming out. He is going to be amazing.
Oh, he can't
I'll
wait.
tell
He's
you,
gonna have
in
so
my
much
universe,
control.
the way I would,
And that's going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I was gonna say the way I would reboot the Flash is tell it through the Reverse Flash side of things. I just want a good, like, I know they did live action, but I'd love to see him on the big screen. It's just this
Sadly-
menacing villain, you know.
Sadly, you're not gonna see Reverse Flash. Can I spoil a little bit of the Flash because I know a bit?
I've seen the trailers and I kind of know what's going to happen.
It's
but-
not from the trailers. It was from like a toy.
Okay. What's going to happen?
Well, there's a Dark Flash.
Yes, I saw that too.
It's a Dark Flash. It's going to be played by Ezra as well. There's 3 Flashes in this movie.
Now I wonder if that's going to be like the Black Flash from the TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not
Yeah.
getting a Reverse Flash. Oh
No
my
Reverse
God.
We don't
Flash.
know. At least
Yeah, it's
There's-
they're getting the Dark Black
So who's
Flash.
so,
in
so that's the
reverse.
blue Flash? That's that he goes.
No, not blue.
No,
not
that's
blue.
that
Shoe to
blue
shoe
Flash is the Flash.
Savitar or Zoom.
Savitar Zoom. Yeah.
We're
I
gonna
would
have 3
imagine it would
different Flashes
Savitar
in
because
this movie.
Savitar is
Stupid.
Barry.
So what? We'll have the Flash. We'll have
Flash. Then you've got that second Flash that you saw in the
which
trailer,
will
and
either
then there'll
be
be.
Zoom or Savitar.
I
we
think
don't
that's
know.
just gonna be I think that's just another Flash.
Okay.
It'll be the Blue Lightning like Wally West in the comic.
No,
Okay.
wait a
It'll be
minute. It
nuts.
can't be that other. It can't be the other Barry,
Which other Barry?
the one that he's with the whole time.
No,
in the
because he
trailer.
doesn't get his powers, right?
No,
But when they're in the plane and he's taking the picture of Supergirl, they both have a red suit on.
No, I'm saying there's a
No,
third
his
there's a
energy.
third-
His
yeah. His energy's blue, like Wally West. So you're gonna have a Barry with orange lightning and a Barry with blue lightning, and then there will be a third Flash with red lightning in a black suit, and that's gonna be,
Okay.
I think, partially the bad guy. So
Okay.
there will be 3
Okay.
Ezra Flashes in this movie.
Oh my God! See, this is exactly.
See,
what
that's
I
going to
don't want.
confuse a lot of people if
This-
you
I
don't
don't know.
know.
It
Exactly
worked with,
what
I don't think it's going to confuse too many people. I think that the
If
average
it's told
person
well enough in the
nowadays,
story, it'll be fine.
I just think the average person nowadays is familiar enough with Elseworlds and multiverses, and even the amount of TV shows that I mean, it's so.
If it's told
ingrained
well,
at
I
this
think it'll
point.
be fine. I'm not worried on that part of it. I'm
I
more
mean, I
about
watched
worried.
Fringe, and Fringe did this all first. So
I'm more worried about the confusion of adding like so many different universes together. And I
Yeah.
think people are
Exactly.
the problem for DC is they're diving into the multiverse too soon. Like there's no foundation right now. We are so
Yep.
foundationless, and so that's why I'm happy James Gunn's coming in to try and rebuild. I think he's going to. I just think people are ready for a more simple story, more just heroes being heroes. I think
Yeah.
people just want.
They have to do what Marvel did, and they have to take 20 movies to do this.
well,
I
it's
mean,
not gonna happen.
unfortunately, that's what they have to do. If you want to really build this world out, and it doesn't have to be 20 movies, but they have to make it 10, 15 movies before we get these big epic storylines they want to try to tell.
Well,
I
I mean,
really
I
think
will
that.
say one movie that I actually think is a mistake from DC is The Authority. I think it's a
Why?
mistake.
Oh,
I think that's the one
Because-
James Gunn's most interested in.
I know, but
that's exactly why. Yeah.
but you're introducing a Dark Justice League before you even have a Justice League. You're
Yeah.
Well,
that's
yeah,
what a lot of
okay,
people
but
were
you're-
saying.
Here's
You're
my
introducing-
way of looking at it. That's why they're doing it that way, because they don't want to have to reset up backstories for all of your Justice League characters.
well, they're
But
doing
that's
that.
gonna
Though.
be, but that's gonna be
Yeah.
what brings them all together. Like
I-
you're gonna
well, the
have your,
pro-
your Superman. You're gonna have. They're gonna all be getting a call to action because they're gonna have to go against these Dark Justice League.
Oh, you think the
But-
Authority's going to be bad guys?
Oh
I
yeah,
think they're gonna be
oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
anti-heroes.
Oh yeah, but
I don't
basically,
Yeah,
think they're gonna be-
anti-heroes, but they're not going to be the villains.
No,
Yeah,
they're gonna
they
end
will.
up being the villain
they'll be the
of
villains
a
of the
Justice League Dark
fight.
Oh,
kinda-
okay. It's back and forth them two. Okay.
Yes.
But
I got you.
the reason why I think it's a mistake is because before you even build your main team, you're deconstructing them with this bad team, with
Well,
the
I understand that.
caricatures of it. It's like it's what we have been seeing for so many years. We've seen The Boys, we've seen Invincible, we've seen so many like bad Superman stories, so many for so long. I think people are tired of it. I think
Right.
that's why Superman.
But I think
Lois
this is
so
going to
good.
be. I think the thing this is going to do differently is it's going to have the actual characters as representatives of the ideological differences between them, and the battles would be just as much conceptual
So
and
The
highbrow
Boys.
as they are.
I'm sorry, but
So
no,
The
but this is
Boys-
going to be.
the
But this is going to
19
have the good Superman and the bad Superman fighting.
the
against each other.
1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s Superman does not work. I'm sorry. I know people want it,
I think
but
it
it's
could.
not
I think it
going
does.
Tyler
to
Hoechlin
work.
is pretty
Hey,
close to
yes,
that.
It is
it worked
not-
in
if they go true to that storyline, that Superman, that archetype, that character
Well, that's
type,
That's Captain
But
America.
why-
no
But
way.
why? But
That's
why
the
does it work
MCU's
for
Captain America.
Yeah, why does it work for Captain
Captain
America?
America
Why does it
is
work for-
gray, though. He is not all 100% good.
But
he
but why does
eventually
it-
goes against the government, who he
Yeah,
is all
against the
gung-ho
government,
for in the
but
That
beginning.
can be a good
he's-
thing. That can
He
be a
was
very
still
good
always
thing.
the shucks, good boy from Brooklyn who just wants to do the right thing all the
But
time.
why-
in the
but why
first
is-
Avenger, that's it. After that,
Yeah.
even in Avengers, he's got
Still
that
did the
dark
right
side to him.
thing.
He
But
punches that
why-
bag and puts a hole in it because he's pissed. He's
But
not
why
all
does
good.
But why
He's
does
got
Superman
anger.
and Superman Lois work? Why does Smallville work? These shows that like show a
That's a
good
different time.
man.
Nah, I'm telling you, there's no way you can get away with that hokey. Everything is great, Superman. No way.
I think it
No.
works better now than
It's-
ever because people are looking
That's
for a
not the
hero.
real world, though. That is
But people
such
don't
a
want the real world
glorified.
anymore. Honestly, people
Mm.
don't want the
I
real
was
world
gonna
anymore.
say,
They
I'm
want
it's
something
sorry.
new.
to be
That's
honest,
what
I was
makes
gonna
me
say people
love
go
that.
to the
Everything
movies
about Marvel that I
to
love is the
escape the real
realness of it.
world.
It's the
And
groundedness of it.
this right here
Not the
is why
superheroes
them
doing superhero
making
things.
a bunch of different movies doing different things is going to work out. Because there will
But
be
just
something
think-
for everyone.
But no. All I'm saying is, look at like Batman '89. It's considered one of the best comic book movies of all time to us as fans. But it has never been considered a great movie to the critics and all that stuff. We got that with Marvel. Marvel actually took comic book movies serious, and in the beginning, even though they had some misses, everything was grounded in reality. It was grounded in the characters. It was grounded in the stories. Then they started getting ridiculous, And other things started getting ridiculous too. Like we got the boys, like you said, we got other crazy things all around Marvel and stuff. And that's what has sort of pissed people off. Is it's not grounded in the characters and stories anymore that it used to be.
But that's why I say I think Superman
you have to
can
take
do
these
that.
things serious.
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
my
the Hulk
thing.
was pretty grounded when he became a giant green monster.
I
Action
just
mutant
don't think
dogs.
that version of Superman works today. I mean, come on, look at what we see every day. You think Superman's going to sit around and be, oh, it's okay for these people to just kill
that's what
people
the
and do this and
description
do that?
said.
But he would be murdering people.
No,
for
but
what
that's
they
the
do
thing.
today
He
in
wouldn't
the
kill
world.
people. But that's what they said in the description for the show.
All right, I'm sorry.
Is
I
that
don't
this
believe
is him trying to find balance with who he is, the good person that he is, with the evil around him in the world.
It
Yeah,
works
that's
great. It
that's the whole
works
point of
great
the
for the
story.
time period it came out in. It doesn't work for today. It
I
just
think it
doesn't.
does. I think that's why we fall in love with the character of Spider-Man, because he, with great power comes great responsibility.
But
That
again,
simple
he's
line
dark.
matters so much. And Superman deals with dark stuff too. He's having to deal with being.
But
the
we will
hero.
never see it again because of what people want from Superman, because they don't like Man of Steel. We will never get the Superman that actually fights internally with himself.
Yes, you will.
To not make human
Because
decisions.
you're going to eventually get Kingdom Come Superman. They're just gonna build towards it instead of just having him there to start off.
I just think that characterization of Superman is too robotic. It's a characterization of a person.
Is because they can use it within something like the Injustice storyline, where it builds. You have this person who is the most even-keeled person until a certain point, and he cannot deal with the injustice that he sees around him, and he finally fucking breaks and is like, you know what? Screw this. I'm killing everyone.
Yes,
but
that's what we're saying.
But
That's
no,
the Kingdom
but
Come
Don,
Superman.
they can't just give you that.
Right, you have to
can't
start
just
off with him
have
being
that.
innocent.
You have to have for that to truly work. He needs to be innocent for that break to truly mean something.
It's like the Hulk Hogan heel turn at Bash at the Beach when he joined the bad guys. If Hogan wasn't the ultimate good guy, it just doesn't work.
Because, like I said, if you don't set up this hero to fall,
I'm sorry, guys.
the fall
I
means
look at
nothing.
things so much. I look at things so much more
See,
different.
like-
I want grounded stories. I don't want this. Oh, let's make up a character that
You
doesn't
want a
exist in the real
Don,
world just to tell a story. I don't
you
believe
want
in
a
that. I just don't
grounded
think that's
story
right.
in a movie where
People like that do
shoot
exist,
lasers
Don.
out of
He
their
can-
eyes.
No, I'm not saying he has to be bad. I'm just saying he has to be realistic.
That
And
is realistic.
There are no
I know
people like
people
the
like
true
that.
Superman in this world.
I know people that are sunshines and
I
cotton
know.
candy
Not-
coming out of their
Here-
asses.
Here's the thing.
Everybody in this world has a temper if you push
You
them the
said
right
they're not
way.
real
Yes.
people.
I'm sorry.
People,
Everybody
but
has a
here's
temper.
the thing. Here's the thing, though. I don't
Everyone.
disagree with you, but at the same time, I look at someone. When I look at Superman, it reminds me of like some.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But like
No,
for
you're
me,
good.
the person in my life that always reminded me of Superman so much was my dad growing up, because he was the kindest person I ever knew. He was an inspiration. He was a role model, and that's who you want for Superman. He's gonna have flaws, but you want someone who wants to be a role model, a hero. People are
Right.
looking for that role model.
Not the way
People
they're
want
making
that.
him
The
sound.
point of Superman is not that he had to growing up learn more than anybody else to control his impulses, his feelings, his anger, because even his joy, his anger, any emotional outburst could cause devastation. So he has to be good all the time. He doesn't get a choice.
Okay, answer me this:
He
Who are your
can't
top three? Who are your top three Supermans?
Live
Who are your
action
top three Supermans?
storylines or like actors
Just who are your top three Supermans?
that have played it?
Tom Welling, Tyler Holcomb, Christopher Reeves.
All
And
of
then,
them are
Henry
not,
Cavill.
and none of them, and not one of them is the hokey Superman.
Tyler
Sorry, they're
Hoechlin-
all flawed. They're
Yeah,
all
but-
flawed, and they're all real
But
characters.
nobody's saying he's not
That's
flawed.
why we
Yeah.
like these characters.
Yeah,
is
we're
when
not saying
they're
Superman's
real.
not going to be flawed, but like Christopher Reeves was the hokey good guy, and everybody loved Christopher Reeve.
Again, well, that one, yes, but again, I think that's different times. I truly do. It's I'm sorry.
Alrighty, guys.
No one
God.
is taking your opinion away
Oh.
from you.
No, I know
I
that.
want
No,
you
no,
to
no,
know.
I know that. No, I know that.
All right, guys.
No, I know
Obviously,
that.
we could keep going on and on
Oh, yeah, yeah.
about
No, I
this.
know. I'm sorry.
And
I'm
this
sorry,
will
guys.
be
We get
the
excited about
age-long
Superman.
discussion to come.
It's
We're
just
at
overall,
Sorry.
I just want to say why. Because until Marvel came around, DC was always my favorite. Like growing up,
Okay.
I love Superman, love Batman, love all that stuff. And then Marvel just came in and went, yeah, but we can do this way better. And DC just doesn't have that same want in them. They don't have that same itch to be great like Marvel did. And I hope they do, but that to me is a big mistake if they don't do Man of Steel Superman again. That is the Superman that's correct for this time period in history.
Okay.
The one that's willing to make the hard decision. I'm
Well,
sorry, he got to make the hard
Final
decisions when
thoughts
they
on
have
this topic, Joe. Go.
when they decide to cast the Superman, we will come back and we will retouch base on this, and we'll see where they're going. They don't even have a Superman yet. Maybe we're a little early to have this
It's
philosophical
Tom
debate.
Holland. It's Tom
All
Holland.
right, Luke. What
Too short.
what are your final thoughts on this topic? Go.
Just final thoughts. I think I'm hoping for the hopeful role model character. That's what my hope is. I like Man of Steel, but I don't think Man of Steel is the route you go because it was a deconstruction of the character. It wasn't just making a hero. It was deconstructing what this character is in the real world. And I think people don't want to see that. They want to see someone who is going to do the right thing no matter what. I think one fundamental problem I had with Man of Steel was he didn't
did the
save
right
his
thing.
father. Well, he didn't save his father from the tornado.
His
That-
father said, "Let me go."
Yes, but that's the thing. Like in the comics and every other iteration of when his father dies, it's because he has cancer, which he can't control. He can't do anything to save his father. That's what they were trying to portray. But the problem is with the tornado, he can do something. He
But
actually
he can move
could
so
have done
fast.
something.
He could have just.
That's true.
Exactly.
That is
But-
very
No, that's
true.
fair. That's a fair
But that's
point.
why
Yeah.
I say they should have had him where he died from cancer, because the idea of the cancer storyline is to teach Superman that no matter how powerful you are, no matter who you are, you
Can't control
cannot
everything.
save everyone. And that's what that was telling. But when you did the tornado thing, it actually takes away that fundamental thing where it's like he could have saved him. He just didn't.
That's true.
Well, he
And
could
so
have,
that's
but
what he
he
was
also he told him not to.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
even
but if
So it
you were
does
in that
teach us the same
situation,
story. But
but
no,
also if-
I agree with you. The cancer story is a much better.
Okay.
it's a lot stronger.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. Yeah, it's a stronger
But-
story point.
But the idea was was kind of to break the character down into its most like what's this character look like in the real world? Let's break them down. Let's have them deal with this darkness. And I get why they did it. I understand completely. But I think in the long run, I think it was a mistake, because I think now looking back, we don't have that grounded fundamental character, that hero. I think the reason why we look back on Captain America and Iron Man, even though they were grounded, even though they were the real characters, their characteristics went back to the original comics, and they built a hero at the end that was trying to be better than themselves. Superman at the end was really in a depressive state, especially at the beginning of Batman versus Superman. He was going through looking in on himself, on who he was, and trying to be philosophical instead of just being the hero that he should have been.
Okay. Josh, any final thoughts on this subject?
No, I completely agree with Luke, because it's like I'm now thinking about the movie much differently. It's like he could have just flew in that tornado and saved him.
Yeah.
And I get what they were going for, and his dad is like, don't worry about it. But I just feel like if you really want to be more compelling, they should have went with that cancer storyline. If anything, I think that would have changed a lot of people's perception of the movie. And maybe would have made that last scene with Zod and that decision he had to make even stronger. But it's still my favorite iteration of Superman. Because I do agree with Don. I like that real world, flawed Superman that we get. And I think like whoever they cast, if they're deciding to go the happier route, I just hope it's not campy. If they do it, I hope they kind of do it in a way of how they did Captain America. That's like the only way that could possibly come off as realistic. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Yeah. And I mean, if anybody's going to play Superman right now, it obviously has to be either Luke or Noah, and then Zod has to be Joe. Jason is Martian Manhunter. Don clearly Lex Luthor. And this is just how we'll roll with.
I want from Batman v Superman at the end, Abomination.
Yeah, Doomsday. You want
Doomsday.
Doomsday. I'm sorry. Doomsday. I'm sorry. Not
go for
Abomination.
it. You can
Doomsday.
have Doomsday, sir.
I want Doomsday.
Kill Superman. Go for it.
Jason,
I
final
want to
thoughts on this
destroy an
subject?
entire city.
Final thoughts. The Superman I want the Injustice storyline. So to get there, you kind of need a sane, well-rounded Superman at first to tilt over the edge. So I think we are going. I want the cookie cutter first, and then give me the edgy shit, but build him up to break him.
Well, I think we're at a little over our 2-hour mark. Thank you guys again for joining us and celebrating with us on our mark at 200 subs. We couldn't do this without you guys.
And thank you guys for
yeah.
helping us make Ben's dreams
come true.
True. There's nothing that this channel wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Ben, and we're doing this in his memory to honor him. And we appreciate you guys all coming with us on this ride.
As always, you can find me here Fridays, sometimes Sundays, and Wednesdays on Jedi Academy. Don, tell the lovely fans where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Jedi Master Tuck. You can find me in the Benverse Facebook group, the Multiverse of Geekdom Facebook group. What are y'all two doing over there? And you guys can find me here pretty much every day on all the shows. So, yep. Thank you guys so much again for getting us to 200. We really love your guys' participation and helping us out. So please help us grow some more. We're trying to get to 1,000. But thank you guys again really so much for getting us here. We couldn't do this without you guys, and doing this for Ben has just been awesome. So thank you.
I am on Instagram at Padawan Frito. You can find me here on Wednesday's show on the Jedi Academy, Friday at Weekly Geekdom, Sundays on Geekdom Uncut. Any trailer reactions I'm doing, and that's about it. Thank you guys again for having me along for the journey, and I appreciate just being here and being able to thrive here.
You can find me on Asgard. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Midnight Cinema. You can find me on my Instagram page, Midnight Cinema 41, and my Twitter, The Outlawed Mime. You can also find me in the Facebook group. I am here on Fridays, Sundays, whatever other day of the week. If I'm available, they can just drag me on here, and I'll show up and show this lovely chocolate face. If you look up to the skies, you see like this red cape with a hammer and axe flying around. Just know that's me.
Oh God.
Luke, you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Yes, check me out at the Galaxy Geeks channel. Just look up Galaxy Geeks. We are on a route for, I'm hoping by the end of December, reaching 200,000. I'm on that route. I want to we're trying to grow out our live shows on Mondays. We're going to start doing a little bit more live shows on Mondays for our Galaxy Hangout. We're going to talk about news and stuff like that. So I'm trying to build out our live chat during that time. And so we're trying right now as a channel, we're trying to build out our community side of it. So trying to like get more people involved, and we gained a ton of subscribers in December and January. But now I'm backing off and trying to build the community side of YouTube. So growing quickly is not always the best thing when you're trying to build a community as well. But that's kind of the goal right now.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Joseph M. Boros, and here on the Multiverse of Geekdom.
You sound like your mask isn't working properly. We must fix
You're not getting the right airflow to your mouth. How are you not talking
And
properly?
I will be I will be probably dropping an out of the theater reaction to Ant-Man and the Wasp on Sunday with my son. So that
Nice.
should be fun.
His boy.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
He's
Absolutely.
taking his boy.
Yes. You are taking the child.
Well, expect to find one of us in the wreckage, brother.
Brother. Yes, of course, of course. You'll be breaking the back of the Batman once again, sir. This time.
I sure
with
are
your
talking
little
about children a lot. I'm just saying.
I was like,
But
what's happening?
Sorry, guys.
Luke is
On
making
that
it
note-
time.
sitting in for your head geek, Ben.
Oh,
Thank you all for joining us on this
yes.
traversal of the multiverse. For Noah, Don, Jason, Josh, and Luke, have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Guys.
May the force